Chelsea won, Arsenal won. What an exhilarating game that was. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Football Terrace. Can't wait to jump into your opinions. Can't wait to hear what your fan highlights were of the show. We've got the panel coming later, your super chats, your member chats, and much, much more. But that was another game. I felt like that a few times recently that I just didn't want to see end. I just didn't want to see the game over with. It was enthralling. It wasn't the highest level of highest quality of football ever, but the game was very much how I thought it would be in some regard in terms of a close knit affair. I saw some Arsenal fans talking about smashing them. I saw some Chelsea fans talking about smashing Arsenal. I never felt in the end that was ever going to be the case. I went with 2-1 to Arsenal. Chelsea getting a draw today, but there's so much more to this game than Chelsea just drawing, and we're going to delve into that in more detail. But please like, subscribe, but definitely the like button. Get it smashed right now. Get yourself subscribing, and of course the bell notification button as well is very, very, very key indeed, because just so much went on today. I'm actually looking back at my notes here. People go, why have you have a notebook? If you don't write down notes, you are going to forget things. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. And Sean straight away said, Reece by far the best player on the pitch. Reece James was magnificent today. The level of performance from him was absolutely tip-top on every single metric. He was absolutely brilliant. He really was. Garrett here says Chelsea have to won 90% of the 50-50 duels and second balls today. Home ground energy advantage was palpable. Looking forward to the Emirates. And I will say that, I mean, look, I really want to start with Chelsea today, because I think they deserve it more than anything. Chelsea today, I just want to timestamp when we go into these individual reviews. But Chelsea were brave. The first word I think of is brave. And we'll get to the opening 30 minutes or so of the game. The way Chelsea performed after going down to 10 men, every Chelsea supporter on planet Earth should be proud, in my personal opinion. I watched that Chelsea side only a couple of months ago go down to 10 men against Man United, down to 10 men against Brighton, and capitulate, fall away, crumble. And at the time, I criticized it. And I was met with a sort of a rejection of, no, they're 10 men, Terry, what do you expect? Far more of what I saw this evening. Chelsea became harder to break down than I've seen them under Maresca ever against the top side. They became resolute. Their players' minds focused. They were brave and carried on attacking. And I think the fact they carried on attacking left Arsenal with this feeling of, do we commit the extra man, an extra two men to these attacks with Neto, with João Pedro, who I thought was doing very, very well, with Reece James spraying those balls around, Garnacho on the counter. Do we commit the extra player? They didn't. Arsenal didn't do that. They didn't use the numerical advantage because of the threat from Chelsea. And that is Arsenal paying Chelsea the absolute highest level of respect you can imagine. That's how dangerous, that's how brave, that's how brilliant this Chelsea setup was today. And look, I'll be in the group chats giving someone a bit of banter here and a bit of banter there, because that's what friends do. But in reality, when we're actually going to talk football, let's drop the bullshit, let's drop the crap. Chelsea, I felt, were magnificent. And the draw as a result, if you do results-based analysis, if that's who you are and what you are, fair enough to you. I'm a football purist. I look at the quality of football. I look at the context of the game. I look at the strategies. I look at the changes that are needed mid-game because of scenarios, game state. I look at the whole thing. I look at real football and not just results or not just ability and all that shit. For me, I thought Chelsea, once they went down to 10 men, it's maybe the best I've ever seen them play under Maresca. Circumstances permitting. Yes. What do you mean? We weren't better than against PSG in the final. Circumstances permitting, amazing. Blown away by Chelsea today. I thought they were great. I think Chelsea win the game if Caicedo doesn't get himself sent off. And I know there'll be people that will say that it wasn't a red card, re-refereeing the game. Look, at the end of the day, it's a red card. And it's a straight leg, completely misses the ball, gets the lower part of the shin. One thing I give Caicedo a little bit of credit for, actually, is the way he kind of faked the injury to try and take the referee's attention away. It was a red card. And I think that Caicedo today tried very, very hard to be the best midfielder on the pitch. And sometimes in life, you can try too hard. You can overextend. You can come up, I used to be a salesman. Sometimes you could try too hard to sell a phone or a car or a bank account or a loan. And it might come across as desperate. The potential purchaser might think, oh, seems a bit keen. What are they hiding? What's going on here? And I felt that he tried maybe a little too hard today, Caicedo, to prove I'm the man, not Rice, not Enzo, nobody else, me. And he'll learn from that. And that element there is the immaturity that's still within this Chelsea team. But the one thing that I took away from this game above and beyond anything else is that don't sleep on Chelsea anymore. This Chelsea team is growing. This Chelsea team is maturing. There are going to be these moments like you saw from Caicedo today, but they're on their way to being one of the best teams in Europe again, in my personal opinion. Some will say they're already there. I say they're on their way. We can split hairs over that if you want, but I thought Chelsea were fantastic. Individuals on the pitch today, Reece James, just magnificent on every single level. I thought he was majestic. One of the star players on the pitch. I thought Robert Sanchez in goal, barring a really poor early pass, he came up with saves. He caught every cross that came into the box. Even there were times where balls were coming in, he was anticipating them and not allowing them to come in. I don't care that he conceded a goal. I don't care he didn't get a clean sheet because the goal that went in today wasn't his fault. He could have done nothing to have stopped that goal. And right at the end, he pulls off a brilliant save and then gets up quickly and stops Gyökeres from having a tap in. Magnificent. I think Trevor Chalobah, again, I want to give a lot of credit to him. This man was not wanted by a number of Chelsea fans. Some wanted him, some didn't. The board didn't want him. The club didn't want him. He's out on loan. He's come back. Listen, is he John Terry level? No. Is he Carvalho level? No. He's in that Gary Cahill mold. He's a good player. But the performance from him today, not to mention the goal, absolutely fantastic. Look, Fofana played well. I thought Gusto had a very good game as well. I just felt overall today, Chelsea were very, very good. And that first half performance, up until that red card, look, everyone's going to have their own opinion on it. It was 38 minutes in. It wasn't 30 minutes. They were the better team. They didn't have a great deal of shots in that time. It wasn't like they were peppering the goal of Arsenal. They didn't create any big chances in the first half of the game. It was Arsenal that actually had the one big chance. Arsenal were the ones who actually had more shots on target in that first half. But they were just harrying and pressing. And they just, for the majority of the game, they just had Arsenal scrambling. It was maybe the worst I've seen Arsenal play. And of course, Arsenal fans will look very internal and look at themselves, look at the injuries. They'll say, well, could he have done better? Could they have done better? Could this have happened? I just think Chelsea didn't let you play. I think Chelsea were like a fire blanket today. They suffocated so much of this game. And it was a joy to watch because I love all types of football. I'm not someone who likes just one particular genre of the game. For me, I like the rugged approach. I do think the aggression that Chelsea started with and the bad refereeing from Anthony Taylor is part of the reason you went down to 10 men. Caicedo made a foul very early on where he pushed Timber in the back. And I think if the referee gives a foul and gives a warning and says, calm down, I don't think Caicedo gets sent off. But he kind of gets away with a couple of fouls that weren't given, and then he gives away a foul that's probably a booking based on the other yellow cards in the game, not given. And sometimes in life that builds up a bit of a resistance, and the players thinking, well, I'm not going to get in trouble today. You can become more and more aggressive, more and more assertive, and then as soon as you make a mistake in that kind of mind frame, it can go wrong. And I think Anthony Taylor had a bit of a stinker in that regard today. He could have just nipped that in the bud a little earlier, given the player the warning, and he didn't. He was also doing this weird thing today, Anthony Taylor, where sometimes he let a shoulder barge go, the next minute he's giving it as a foul. And I hate referees like that. You've either got to let everybody shoulder barge and let it go for the entire game, or you've got to blow everybody up. You can't pick and choose when in the game and for which team you give it to. But look, I think overall, look, Chelsea fans, I think there'll be an element of disappointment. Of course there will. But I personally look at it and think you should feel proud. I think that you should feel as though, I would say Chelsea were the better team today. I would say Chelsea have demonstrated who they are. And it wasn't a loss. But I said in my preview to this game, I did think Arsenal would win. I did think you could win. But the one thing I felt at the end of this game that rings true is I felt Chelsea fans would walk away from this game, win, lose, or draw, feeling proud and seeing that overall their team has grown. And I think Chelsea have demonstrated that again to the Premier League, to Europe, and to the world. The only real sour element was the red card. It was a red card. There is no doubt about that on planet Earth. Had you have kept it 11v11, I think you go on to win this game. But I'd love to get your views. I'd love to get your opinions on that. Can't wait to read those comments below. But overall, Chelsea fans, be proud of that team. Let's look at some of your comments that have come through here. I want to know what you all think and what you all feel in relation to this game. We're going to bring on some of the panelists later. We won't win the Prem, but we could win the Champions League. The Blues have come of age and we're not in our prime. Time to stack the cupboard and push on. Come on, you Blues, is what Milliam says. I agree with a lot of what you said. Goldbridge bitching about the letter of the law red card because of the moment. Look, Mark's done this before, to be fair. I remember, I want to say it was a North London derby and there was a red card and he complained about it. I moaned about it. I'm the opposite. I had no issue with all the early yellow cards that were being given. I think if you commit a yellow card offence, you get booked. I don't care if it's 1 second into the game or in the 92nd minute. Referees shouldn't referee occasions. They should referee by the law of the game. That's my view. Because what ends up happening, and I find it infuriating, is 4, 5, 6 players get away with yellow card offences. And then normally a guy that hasn't committed a yellow card offence gets the booking. So I see it the other way. Mark sees it differently. But that's the nature of the beast. Patrick here says, Chelsea have serious athleticism and physicality. It caused Arsenal problems. Their forwards are good, but lack cutting edge. I was disappointed with Arsenal, to be honest. Expected a bit more. Yeah, I thought Arsenal would have been better today, but I agree with everything you've said there. Physicality in the modern day game is so key. And I don't think it matters what club you look at, what manager, what system. If you lack physicality, if you lack athleticism, if you lack acceleration and speed, you're going to struggle. We've seen that with, yes, technical level needs to be there as well. But as soon as you step down a level when it comes to the physical side of the game at the moment, you're in trouble. And Chelsea just demonstrated it magnificently today. The red card was very disappointing, but we fought and to win the league and titles. Remember, we was questioned about Real Betis, PSG, Liverpool, Barca, now Arsenal, 11v11, we would have won. Well, now this is the thing. A lot of people have been questioning Chelsea, but a lot of us could also see what you were capable of if the performances were there, and they've come, and you should feel disappointed. How did Timber not get carded? Loves a shirt grab. Fair. I mean, a few more players could have been carded, to be fair. Explain how Bentancur's challenge against Reece versus Tottenham was a yellow card and Caicedo one is a red. Same ref, by the way. No consistency. Such a disgrace. Well, the referee didn't give it. The referee gave it as a yellow. VAR recommended a change. I'd have to go back and see the Bentancur one and see whether. But if you make contact with the shin first, I always think it's a red card, personally. Rice Caicedo debate put to rest. Rice was outstanding for an underperforming Arsenal. Caicedo bottled it. Otherwise, Chelsea played well. Bad shooting. Yeah, I think when it comes to Arsenal, I would look at Declan Rice and say very good game. I thought he was brilliant. Outside of that, it's hard to find individuals that were amazing for Arsenal today. Saka had Cucu panicking from the first second of the game. He sets up a goal, but I still wanted to see a little bit more from him. Moreno gets a goal, I thought played okay overall. Outside of that, Calafiori played well, but had to be taken off because he was booked. I don't know, really. I'm not saying there were stinkers, but equally there wasn't astounding performances. I feel there was 3 or 4 players on Chelsea's team individually that were better. But Declan Rice, I agree with you. I think Declan Rice was fantastic today. Cucu needed help today. That moment in the Arsenal corner where Saka just mugged him off was comical, and the assist. I mean, look, he was always today, for me, Saka was always going to do something today because too much was being football gods. Too much was being made. The thing is, I keep telling football fans this. I know I'm right, but fans want to pretend I'm not so they can say what they want online and feel like they don't have any impact. I'm not surprised Caicedo was sent off today, and I'm not surprised that Saka delivered something because of the online conversation all week. The players see it. Sometimes less is more. But I won't get my views on TikTok. It's on you. Reece James, man of the match. He dominated us centrally. Come on, you Gooners. Yeah, Reece James is fantastic. Caicedo, nothing less than an idiot. That's from Nav, who's a Chelsea fan. Yeah, listen, some Chelsea fans will defend him. But I just don't think he needed to be that aggressive. And there was no malice in the tackle, but intent is irrelevant for red cards. But it was the when I say aggression, I'm not talking about a thug-like mentality. I'm just talking about an aggression in the tackle. You know, overly assertive, if you want to use a different phrase. It just cost him. Cullen here says, disappointed with the result, but I thought Chelsea did well after going down to 10 men. I thought the decision was correct. I'd say the same if it was an Arsenal player. Fair play to Chelsea. Arsenal rested, rotated, and walked through the game. Cucu was grabbing necks and throwing players all over. Second half, how he didn't get a second yellow. I am proud of this Chelsea team. Thank you, Reece, is what D says here. Terry, please tell me how Caicedo even had a chance to commit a red card after 3 yellow cards. Chelsea are divers and whingers with zero emotional control. Viewers, what do you think of that from the Carl? If Chelsea had 11, they would go 10. If Chelsea had 11, they would go 10 every other game. What do you mean by that? I'm really confused, brother. So mad we didn't win the game. Caicedo red cost us more than ever. Arsenal are really just CBFC. They attack with nothing special. Then that's facts. But listen, I understand where you're coming from. I'm just going to talk to you about narrative control. As a Chelsea fan, saying their attack's rubbish takes away from your brilliant defensive performance. Like there is, for me, if you think their attack's crap, DR, think their attack's crap. Don't change your mind for me. I think Chelsea defended magnificently. I think Chelsea closed the spaces down fantastically. I think Chelsea made brilliant defensive decisions. The goalkeeper was where it was meant to be for crosses. You stopped, even with 10 men, you stopped there being loads of space for Arsenal to play in. Yes, I think Arsenal individually, some of Arsenal players could have done better first touches, better dribbling. But at the same time, I'm not taking anything away from Chelsea here. Not fussed about the draw. What's with Caicedo? Luke Skywalker here encouraging everybody to hit that like button. Thank you, bro. Blame Mosquera for not marking the post for the Chelsea goal. I hear you on that. I don't think the centre backs of Chelsea, Arsenal had a bad game. They're not quite Saliba and Gabriel, are they? I actually also saw this stat. This is the first time since the summer of 2022 that Arsenal played a game, Premier League game, that meant something. They played one dead rubber without them at the end of last season, without one of Gabriel or Saliba playing. I had no idea they'd been that regular in the first team over that period of time. We looked bad today in perspective. City, Chelsea have to play twice. I think we beat Chelsea at the Emirates. The gap can still get bigger. Look, I said before the game started, win, lose or draw, this doesn't define Arsenal's season. If you'd have won, it would be a better advantage. If you'd have lost the game today and it'd been a 3-point gap, I still think you're the favourites to win the league. It's a hard place to go. I think there were a lot of people. There's a lot of content creators that were faking it this week. I saw quite a few Arsenal guys, ironically, that don't really back Arsenal, don't even think they're going to win the league, talking about how crap Chelsea are, how simple this might be, that Chelsea are nowhere near the level. That, for me, was completely disingenuous tripe. If you were playing down this Chelsea team and how hard this game was, I think you're a charlatan and a liar. Chelsea fans celebrating a draw at home, saying they are proud, small club mentality. It's not, man. Come on. You might be bantering, but it isn't small club mentality. You cannot remove the game state here. You cannot. You can't remove that game state. Also, no Saliba or Gabi. First ever game where Mosquera and Nketiah start in the Prem, that is. I saw fatigue, and Martinelli, Zubi, Eze, and Mosquera were very poor. They were nowhere near their levels. But part of the reason, for instance, Zubi, I felt was off today, is one, with the way he was being pressed and Harry. Two, he got a booking very early. So then it makes it harder from his defensive point of view to do things. But so much that was forced by Chelsea. So much that was forced by Chelsea, and they deserve a lot of credit for that today. Again, you're an Arsenal fan saying it. I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans going, we proved today how crap Arsenal are. That takes away from your... Just be careful what you say. I mean, that takes away from your performance. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Man United fans go, we only beat Palace today because they got tired in the second half. It's like, bloody hell. Fair enough. Maybe you're right. But have a bit of fun, eh? Have a bit of fun, you boring prats. For me, I'm tired of teams question if Chelsea can do this and that. Both teams who win, by teams who win F all. I hear you there. The ball moved so much better when Odegaard came on. Yeah, Odegaard's a different kind of 10, a different kind of attacking midfielder to what Eze is. And he did help to improve Arsenal. But Chelsea just nullified everything. And what I thought was really good from Chelsea today was how, when Arsenal scored, there was maybe this feeling of, could there be a collapse here? Could there be a moment now where... Could there be a moment where Chelsea sort of open up a little bit too much and give Arsenal too much space? They didn't. In fact, Chelsea probably got even better after conceding the goal. Really focused their minds. Just making sure I've read all these things. Really proud of the boys. Reece is him. He should be. You should. An Arsenal fan called an Enzo or Caicedo red today. Maybe. Hincapié should have received a red card for the elbow on Chalobah because Jackson got the same last season against Newcastle. I'll have to go back and look at Jackson's again. The difference was Jackson was looking at the player and elbowed him. Hincapié is trying to win the ball and he catches him with a stray arm. It's a yellow card. You might think he intentionally did it. I don't personally think he did. Jackson's was definitely different in my personal opinion. I love the maturity from Sanchez. Reece James' growth is maxing to see him as a leader. Enzo Mosquera has to be top 5 coaches in the world right now, is what Mike's got to say. Taylor, terrible today. Let loads go, so the game heated up. Then second half blew up for everything, making it really stop-start game. James was excellent, though. Timber stole the win at the end. Great game to watch. Yeah, I will say that. I mean, for everything we've just said, if Timber gets out the way, Gyökeres probably wins it with the last head of the game. And that's margins for you. That is absolute fine margins that happen in football matches. It really is, even down to the red card. An inch or two lower and it's a yellow card. An inch or two higher, it could have broken a leg, though. That's the thing with football. It's fine margins sometimes when you're judging these things. Arsenal without the centre-back pairing in the world and away. Yeah, I mean, look, let's be fair. No one thinks Hincapié and Mosquera are as good as Saliba and Gabriel, and that was a bit of a leveler today. There's no doubt, not every single Chelsea fan on planet Earth, when they saw Saliba wasn't in the starting lineup, went, "Oh, great." Equally, if you take Fofana out the team today and Chalobah and put in Tosin and somebody else, I think you'd have been weaker as well, and that's fair, but that's football for you. The 30 minutes before the red, it was very cagey and end-to-end, 11v11. Chelsea won't have won and would have been a draw. Did we send Caicedo to go get a red card? Look, it's very hard to tell. My personal feeling is I think Chelsea may have won it with 11 men, but equally a challenge back to my opinion is, well, we don't know what we don't know. Yeah, maybe Chelsea wouldn't have been as compact defensively if they hadn't gone down to 10 men for the entirety of the game. No one knows. No one has any idea what would have happened. We can only just give an opinion on it. And that's all we're able to do. Gutted but proud. We are building and getting better. Again, they missed their centre-backs, but we still have... why am I reading Levy's name? Lavia. I think you mean no. You are thinking Levi Colwell. Sorry, I'm being stupid. I don't know why that made me think of Lavia. You are missing him too, Levi and Palmer. No, absolutely, and that's the nature of the beast. And they were at your ground as well, so there is a leveler there. I said it in my preview. Irrespective of who I thought was going to win, the idea this was going to be a cakewalk for Arsenal. I thought anybody that thought that hasn't watched Chelsea play football enough. People get it forgetting Sanchez made 2 good saves as well. He did. He's also a decent save from Saka earlier in the game. I wrote that down on my notes. All that gob to draw with 10 men. Chelsea with apparently a shit back line. Disappointed with the draw. Happy with the performance from the boys. Frauds is what African Giant has got to say here. And the lap, though, I watched, and he's lazy when it comes to pressing. Your man, you're a tank. I don't understand your size, and you're lazy. Interesting. I wouldn't have called him lazy, but I hear you. A great game. Timber is a solid player. Reece James is different class. The comparison should stop immediately. Fair result, though. Listen, when it comes to Reece James, I've said it before, I'll say it again. When you can be world-class in 2 separate and different positions on the pitch, I'm not saying someone who's a world-class attacking right back, who also is a world-class right wing, cool. I'm talking about a right back and a central midfielder, different roles. Maybe now the Chelsea fans understand when I talk about the brilliance of Ryan Giggs playing left wing world class. And by the way, in his mid to late 30s, becoming a world class central midfielder in the Premier League. It's just different levels to be able to do what Reece James is doing right now. How many other players have done this? Think through the Premier League era. How many players in the Prem have been world class in 2 separate positions? Not midfield and holding midfield. Fuck off. Same region of the pitch. I'm talking how many players have been a world-class striker and a world-class midfielder, a world-class winger and a world-class midfielder, a world-class fullback or centre-back and a world-class central midfielder. Name them. If you could name me more than 5, I'll buy you dinner tonight. I'll order an Uber Eats for you or wherever you live. I'll get it done. 5 players are world-class in 2 separate positions. And if I see anyone talk about 2 midfielders, I'm going to slap you, metaphorically, right? Don't be mugs. Wayne Rooney, Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale was world class on separate wings, same position, bruv. I'm not talking about a left winger and a right winger. Separate roles, different jobs. Rooney's one of them. There we go. Kane. Now Kane's a world class striker. When's he played wing or midfield? See what I mean? I'm sorry to get angry. Kane's played one position his whole life. Fuck me. Crazy. Premier League as well. If it's outside the Premier League, don't give me alarm. Premier League. Oh, God, I'm sorry to sound rude. Fuck me. Fuck me. Kimmich. Now, you guys are doing it on purpose to wind me up now. Bale played left back. He was not a world-class left back, though, was he? Fuck me. See what I mean? This is how hard it is. We're getting Bale at left back. Do you know Bale at left back? Every game he started at left back for Tottenham, they lost. Little stat for you. The point is you can't name them. That's how good Reece James is. Respect the man. Taylor made the whole game about himself again, is what Robin said here. Yeah, he had a shocker, to be honest with you. O'Malley says, not upset with the draw, in all honesty. Chelsea were well drilled. Reece James and Rice showed levels today. Yeah, I would probably, including Sanchez, best 3 players on the pitch without a shadow. City and Chelsea still have to play each other. Have City and Chelsea played at all? Yeah. Again, they've played no games yet, have they? Yeah. Again, Arsenal fans shouldn't be panicking because you drew today. Just calm yourselves down. Remember that advert? Calm down, dear. It's just a commercial. That's in my head. We move on to Brighton. Arsenal always live in ifs and when delusions. Never deliver anything substantial when the occasion arrives. Biggest chokers in the league. All talk, no show. Is what Chelsea keep the blue flag flying high says here. Also, all the conversation was about Caicedo and Rice. Reece comes from behind and snatches that conversation and pockets both midfield players. Yeah, I'd agree with the best of all 3 today. No shadow of a doubt. No shadow of a doubt. Also, Mr. 10 beers, an hour chatting all that yesterday. about flooring us 4-0. Who said they'd beat Chelsea? What Arsenal fan online said you beat Chelsea 4-0? There's no Arsenal fan that said that. I don't know who said it. The only Arsenal fan that would say that is one that doesn't actually want his team to win. So even if they won 2-0, he could probably moan, or she. No one predicted 4-0. I don't believe it. There's not a single no Arsenal fan went 4-0. No way. What, Troop said it? I love Troop. There's no way. Troop said 4-0. Come on, bruv. There's no way, bruv. I'm only seeing the names of Arteta outers, by the way. Just pointing that out. I'm only seeing Arteta outers that said it. So interesting. Reece James, wow, I was in awe. You should. You got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy players like this. Do you know what I'm saying? You've got to enjoy it. Chelsea also without Colwell since the beginning. So shut the fuck up. All right. Calm down. Calm down. I'm just pointing out the defensive hole in the pitch. You know? Calm down. No need to be so angry at me. I'm sorry I forgot about Palmer. Well, I didn't forget about him. It wasn't what I was talking about. But at least if you're going to be rude to me, at least you paid for it. Do you know what I mean? That's fair. That's fair. We had a new backline today who have never played together. And with the entire backline booked by the first half, I would take a point away at Chelsea. We suffocated them with 11, scored on them with 10, and clinged on for a draw. 7 yellows, headbutts, elbow. Who headbutted someone? Who got headbutted? I don't remember a headbutt. Elbows, kicked Rob in the chest. No red cards. Who got kicked in the chest? Oh, no. You're not talking about the Gyökeres one. That's not a red card. Come on, guys. Let's be honest about it. Same as, Enzo at the end of the first half where he turned and catches Mascara in the face. It's not a red card either. It's not even a yellow card, that one. So calm down here, people. These 3 games were supposed to define Arsenal season. 7 out of 9 points isn't bad. But they were never defining Arsenal season. This is the issue with the mainstream media, Arteta outers, and idiots that make content. This week didn't define anybody's season, in my personal view. It just didn't. If Arsenal would have won today, it still wasn't a guarantee they won the league. They'd have a much better chance. It's a long way to go. People have got to calm down. Same as Chelsea. If they'd have won 3 points behind, wow. But they'd have lost, they'd have been nearer to 15th than first place. Does that suddenly mean Chelsea are nearer Fulham than Arsenal? No. We know they're nearer Arsenal than they are Fulham overall. Still early in the season. Too much going on. But I suppose that's for TikTok, baby. I don't agree with the idea that a 10-man team should easily be beaten. Losing a man can make a team more solid. Carl, listen, I agree with you. And I agree with you from the perspective that when Chelsea went down to 10 men against United and Brighton, it's why I so heavily condemn them and Maresca. Because they didn't make it hard at all. It was actually, until we went down to 10 men, it was like playing boys. When Chelsea went down to 10 men against Brighton, it was so easy for Brighton. And I think what's happened since those games is Maresca has gone to try. I guarantee if you were to interview them and ask, I bet since those 2 games, you guys have done so many drills, 10v11, 9v11, worked on how to stay resolute. And that's what top teams do. I've seen, and I know this because when Chelsea were in their pomp period, when they went on to win the Champions League, I personally witnessed when John Terry, I still don't know why he did it, when he needed the Barca player up the arse and got sent off, right? Still funny when I think about it. There was no need for it. I saw that Chelsea team against a very, very good Barcelona team stay in the game and win. That is what can happen. It shouldn't happen every time. But many a professional will tell you sometimes it's harder playing against 10 men and 11 for a reason. If you're well drilled at it, I agree. I was saying all the ifs. Chelsea had 10, they'd dominate. Chatter isn't as valid since they go down to 10 men every other game. No, well, they've had a lot of red cards this year, Chelsea. They've had a bit of practice, to be fair. Zubi and Martinelli had stinkers today. Not the right profiles for this match. Good subs from Arteta. Just run out of time. We looked bad today. Sorry, I've already done that super chat there. But excuses, copyrights for Arsenal. You can say they're excuses. I think that I'll give him reasonings. I'm praying. It's funny how I'm praising Chelsea, but you're calling them excuses. All right. Okay, just for you, yeah, just Arsenal were crap. Chelsea did nothing today. Chelsea didn't deserve a point. It was just Arsenal were crap. Does that sound better for you? I'm disappointed, but at least we still 5 and 6 ahead. Yeah, I mean, you're not really in a bad, but I'd love to be in your position. Although we did win today. First team to win in almost a whole calendar year at Crystal Palace. No one would have put anything on that, would they? Actually, that football is amazing. If you went to the start of the week, all right, and I said to you, United will lose to Everton and beat Palace away, but Everton are going to beat Man United and then get pumped 4-1 by Newcastle at home. You just said that was crazy. That's what I love about football, man. I love it. This was teaching tape on how to play against Arsenal. Sunderland did the exact same thing, and that's not an insult if you know ball. Listen, I agree. I think the way you beat Arsenal is by becoming very rigid, almost Jose Mourinho-esque, very rigid, hard to break down, allow very little space, and be disciplined. Don't step out as often. And that's the only thing Cucu did wrong today to Saka. He was a bit too aggressive to begin with, and Saka couldn't turn you. And he got himself booked, which then made it harder for Cucu. But that's what you got to do against Arsenal. It's still hard to stop them. They still scored a goal. Yes, against 10 men, but they still scored a goal. But if you open up against Arsenal, it's why I didn't blame Arsenal earlier on in the season when people said they don't score enough goals. I look at it as you've got to keep generally 11 men behind the ball and work your bollocks off and be good on the counter. You start opening up against them, most teams, especially at the Emirates, you're going to get slapped. It's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the beast. I feel like the word bottle is completely devalued at this point. How can they bottle it in November? 1 point at the bridge is good. Yeah, no, I agree with you. The word is being overused. A bit like calling football players flops. They used to get 2 years minimum, then it was a year, then it was 6 months. Now, some players are called flops before they kick a ball, and the players that don't like, the fans that don't like them go, doesn't matter what he ever does in this team, I'll always say he's a flop. That we've gone from 2 years to that. Same with the word bottle job. Arsenal bottled nothing at this point. You know, if this midweek games go their way and Chelsea drop points and City drop points and they win, they might be in a better position than a kickoff today. It's too early to keep doing all that bullshit. I agree with you, mate. You're spot on, son. Happy with the draw. Think City and Paul will lose at Stamford Bridge. I think Chelsea are the second best team in the Premier League. And the league table is going to tell you. I think they're coming second now. World champs at home in the title race. 1 up, bottled it. Come on, Ray. They didn't bottle it. They didn't bottle it, man. What time we admit that Saka's not world class? Are you talking about the player that was really hurting the best left back in the world today? You can say he's not if you want. We held our own to win trophies, even win titles or trophies. 10 or 11 players, you need to perform regardless. No excuses. 3 years ago would have lost. Bro, I think 12 months ago you'd have lost that game, let alone 3 years ago. Agree, brilliant. Arsenal fans have delusion that they would have won 20 Premier League since 2004, but in reality, nada, nothing, zero. Arsenal are £1 billion bottle jobs in the Arteta era. It was an opportunity to knock out Chelsea and didn't take it. It was Arsenal's second worst performance of the season. Zubimendi got welcomed to the intensity of the league. A point is not bad with so many yellow cards. Good points in there, my friend. Saka had Cucu on strings. Great assist. Yeah, I think today's might be maybe the wrong day to go for Saka personally. But that, again, that's just my opinion. You're all entitled to your own. Look, I'm going to bring the panel out now that have their say on the show. So make sure you're staying with us. Please make sure like buttons have been hit, by the way. Please make sure you're subscribing. And that bell notification button is turned on as well. Let me just remove this from my screen. And then I'll start bringing the panel out as I move myself over to here. Who we've got on here today? We have got Kojo. We have got Seb. We have David. We have Anton. We have Winter Surfer, Brandon. And we have Jesse on the show with us today. Welcome, gentlemen. Sorry you couldn't all be winners today like Manchester United. You know, it's a hard thing to do to keep winning on these Sundays. But I'm going to go to Jesse first. Jesse, you look very, very, very frustrated just looking at the boat race, mate. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I am a bit frustrated, but equally excited because we can clearly see where the team is going, and we can't ask for anything more from the team today, especially with 10 men. Reece James today, captain performance. Arsenal
Whose chair's cracking like that? No, carry on, Pete. I can definitely hear it, right? Someone's got fireworks going off in their pants. I don't know what's going on. All right, there we go. Cool. So back to you, Jess.
Yeah, Reece James, captain performance today. Even with somebody's chair.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mute everybody other than you, Jesse. And if it happens now, it's you. Go on, Jesse.
Yeah. Again, we can't really ask too much from the guys today, especially playing with 10 men. The guys give it their all. Reece James today, I saw him on the pitch. He wanted to win this game today. 100%. He fought like a dog. And it's just such a shame that Caicedo it was a red. I'm not even going to say it's not. It was a red. It was definitely a red. And is there a case where a world where we played with 11 men, and after 11 and with playing with 10 men, we looked even better? How? We looked real decent today. Reece James, as you said, Terry, in your intro, world-class right back, world-class midfielder. 100%. I'm just really gutted that we clearly see Arsenal were there. Arsenal, we could have won this game tonight. And I think the biggest part of the field that let us down has to be the attack. Out of any different part of the field, midfield was great. Defense was great. Robert Sanchez. I have to give this guy a clap because the improvements we have seen from the tail end to now, this guy, he has to be the most improved player in Chelsea Football Club as of right now. He has to be. Also, Esteva. I don't know. Today, we could clear. I really and truly, I think he should have never started this game. I was hoping that they wouldn't have done it. Bring him on like in the 60th minute. He had a hard game midweek. He scored that goal. But we clearly needed Pedro Neto and Garnacho in to start this game. We clearly needed them. Esteva could have come on from the 60th minute. Today, he had a little bit of heavy passing. He's trying to pass the ball here. They were really pumped up, and I think they were overly excited and too pumped up. Him, Esteva, Cucurella, and Moises Caicedo. These three players in particular, they were too pumped. And silly mistakes from these three players. Esteva overhitting passes, and he was the easiest target to take off. At that point, to bring on Garnacho to play counter-attack.
Yeah, I thought with Esteva as well. He had those two really good chances that he messed up as well. And I thought the first one that went really over, I thought he was going to score that, to be fair. And I didn't really agree with taking him off because I felt that he could be just as effective on the counter because of his skill and his speed. But Maresca obviously made that decision. Brandon, from an Arsenal point of view, how are you feeling after the game? Because Chelsea started magnificently and were really hard for you to handle. But then you played against 10 men for essentially 50, 60 minutes of the game, conceded first, got a goal back. What did you make of it from an Arsenal perspective today?
Disappointing, no doubt. I feel we was very fortunate, to be honest with you. Very fortunate. Chelsea started very well. It's ironic, really, because all this talk surrounding Declan Rice and Caicedo and Reece James showed them exactly what midfield levels is today. So there's no doubt about that. He was the best player on the pitch. It's unfortunate, really, because both Caicedo and Declan Rice obviously get taken out of the game quite early. I'll explain what I mean about Declan Rice. So, of course, we, have to change our centre-back pairing due to Saliba being injured. I think although Hincapié and Mosquera have performed very well when they've come in individually and come in next to Saliba, you could tell that they weren't comfortable as a centre-back pairing today. And I think because of that sort of uncertainty at the back, I don't think that allowed Declan Rice to do his natural role that he does in this side and get forward as much as he'd like to. You could see that he was trying to sort of do the defensive role a little bit more, especially when Zubimendi picked up the yellow card early in the first half as well. Anthony Taylor, for me, lost control of the game. Big game. And for me, he had, main character syndrome. He's handing out yellow cards, dishing out yellow cards quite easily. He's got to understand it's a London derby. There's going to be a bit of that sort of fight from both teams. There's going to be a few challenges going in. I think once you give that first yellow card, he's ultimately got to follow up with the next one and the next one. And it kind of ruined the game a little bit. So, Caicedo getting sent off wasn't really a surprise for me. I thought there was always going to be a sending off in this game from that point. But from Arsenal's perspective, Tel, I don't think it was at the races today, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think we had a lot of players that didn't perform very well, particularly in the first half. I thought Eze just really, his first touch really let him down. He couldn't really get on the ball. I think a lot of that, again, has to do with Reece James and how he covered the ground for Chelsea and how they closed the spaces out. But a lot of these players today just weren't at their normal level. And maybe that's to do with the fact that we've played 3 big games in the space of 7 days. I don't know. Everybody forgets we've played Tottenham on Sunday, Bayern Munich on Wednesday, and now Chelsea on Sunday away. It's not easy to keep the intensity high, especially when you've had to change your back line. Going into, the second half, of course, we're a man up. And I'm expecting us now to take the second half to Chelsea and show the one-man advantage that we've got. I think Arteta got the substitutions spot on because in the first half, there's no doubt about it. We did not use the ball well enough in that first half. We did not retain the ball well enough in that first half. And we needed to bring on the likes of Skelly, the likes of Odegaard, to retain that ball and to get control of the game, which I think we lacked in that first half. So he got that right from that perspective. The only disappointing thing for me, Tel, is with 10 men, I think, again, Chelsea defended really well. You have to hold your hands up and say, Chelsea performed really well today. I just feel like we could have created a lot more. With the one-man advantage, I expected Arsenal to create a lot more chances, to create a lot more, just go for it a little bit more. And it seemed, although we had the ball quite a lot, we didn't really create too much from it. I know we scored the goal, but yeah, a little bit fortunate today, really. And again, just going back to the Chelsea goal, in the second half, you've just started the second half. Arteta would have said to the players, look, they're a man down now. Just keep the ball ticking, keep it nice. We don't have to rush. We will create chances. It's inevitable Chelsea are going to sort of sit a bit deeper and defend a bit more. And then Hincapié goes and gives away a stupid free kick, which leads to the goal. So for me, yeah, we're fortunate. There's no time to panic. It's a decent point in a way for us. Disappointing because I think, like I say, with the extra man, we should have gone on to win the game. However, there's a lot of fixtures coming up now. We've got Brentford midweek, and then we've got to go away to Aston Villa. And I just hope and pray that Saliba is fit real soon because, I don't know about them 2 centre-backs as a pairing. I really don't know about that. We just didn't look comfortable today.
Is it Villa away midweek?
No, Brentford midweek, Villa away at the weekend.
What a great week of football. And listen, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. And basically, all I heard you really say was they're pussies. Is that a fair reflection of what you're saying?
No.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Also,
joking.
just on a Chelsea perspective, right? From an Arsenal perspective, I actually felt like Chelsea or Maresca kind of made a mistake in taking Esteval off. Because in that first half, I think Esteval really was testing us down that side. I think that's part of the reason why Arteta took Calafiori off, because there was quite a few occasions where Esteval was easily cutting inside Calafiori and getting shots away. And I think, obviously bringing on Skelly was the right move in terms of retaining the ball. But I actually think Maresca kind of made a mistake bringing on Garnacho and not leaving Esteval on the pitch, because I think he would have hurt us a lot more. But yeah.
I agree. Actually, I thought it was an interesting move to take him off. There's just more to his game than Garnacho. As good as Garnacho can be, I didn't feel like Garnacho actually added too much to Chelsea's attack. There was a few times where he was fronting up 1-on-1 against Declan Rice, and he almost didn't try to go around him, where Esteval would have done in that regard. So yeah, maybe that helped them a little bit there. The Right Honourable David, how are you, mate? You're on mute, bro. I can remember I muted everyone because somebody's chair was cracking up.
That's your fault, Terry. That's not mine. No, do you know what it is? It's a weird one because I'm happy and I'm sad because we were better than them. We should have beaten them. And for all of this smoke, these guys have been talking about how they're the best team. They sure didn't look like it today. Even when we had 10, we were better than them. Reece James, all this talk about Rice and Caicedo, and Reece James was like, do you know what? I'm the best midfielder today. Anyone try to tell me about Yuri and bloody Timber? You're a joker. You're a joker. Because Reece James can do his job and he can do Rice's job as well. He's 2-in-1. He's a meal deal, bro. You got this is level. He's different. Reece James is unbelievable. Today I was watching him and I was just like, if anyone ever chats about Reece James again, I'll just tell them, put on this tape. Just watch this game back and we'll show. And that's all I have to say. He was brilliant today. Unbelievable. Caicedo, stupid, definitely a red. Don't know what he's doing. And it was just one of those challenges where he just didn't even need to do it. That was the annoying thing. It's right in the middle of the field. Whether you win that tackle or not, chances are it's not really gonna contribute to a lot. So it was annoying. But again, one thing that it shows is that when you lose, a loss is only bad if you don't learn from it. We've had so many red cards this year, and today was very evidence that we've learned from all those red cards that we've had, because we were a lot tougher to break down. We countered really well. We chose our moments. And honestly, we probably should have won this game. If it's 11v11, we definitely win this game. So I understand why some of these Arsenal fans, Egal's coming out looking like he's about to release a rap album. I get it, because he's angry. Because you can't talk all this smoke and then your players do that. Like, you can't do that. And also,
the funny thing is, Chelsea fans are celebrating as well.
Let me finish, Egal. Let me finish.
No, you mentioned me. I'm allowed to speak, am I not?
No, you're not. No, you're not. Let me finish my monologue, and then we can come to you. Everyone gets their own section. By the way, this Anton guy over here, we need to do a HMRC on some of his takes, because they have been horror. Hincapié is the best left back in the world. The best, bro. What did I today? He was dropping.
First of all, you're misquoting me again. I did not say in the world.
He was terrible.
I said if he started every week at left back for Arsenal, he had the potential to be the best left back in the Premier League. I did not say he's the best in the world. Don't lie.
Again, I need my apologies from everyone. I need my receipts.
Wait, apologies for a draw?
Was terrible.
Oh, come on, man.
Once again, he came on the field, and I was actually worried, thinking, "Oh, we've got 10 men. We might be in trouble here." I forgot he was on the field till he tried to commit GBH. He did nothing all game, and then all he did was slide. He was terrible. He did nothing again. So you have not signed Erling Haaland. You've signed a worse version of Jean-Philippe, bro. I'm even disrespecting Jean-Philippe. I don't even know who he is, but he's just bad. He's just bad, and that's it. That's it for me. Egal, you can speak now. Rapper, go. Spit some bars. Come on.
You know, last time I checked, you were the one that was saying open play goals don't count. So you didn't even score from open play, and you're out here talking about you're talking about, oh, we outplayed you. I was gonna come here and be fair. Yes, you guys did play well in that first half. You guys did play well in that first half. 1 second, you did play well in that first half, but you didn't even score a goal in that first half. You scored in the second. When did you score that goal? Second half, right?
Yeah,
no, 47th minute.
47th minute.
First half, yeah. We scored. I'm looking back at this whole game and I'm just saying to myself, Chelsea played well. You played well defensively. You guys did your thing. You guys held us down with 10 men for not winning the game. I hear that, right? I'm not sitting here super angry at the game itself. The way the game went, I think the draw is a fair result. What I'm disappointed in is this another missed opportunity for us to continue what we were doing at the top of the table. Chelsea played well today. You guys deserved the draw. You guys maybe even deserve to win if you had 11 men. But guess what? Caicedo was an idiot. Caicedo made a dumb move. That was a deserved red card. And for Arsenal, for you guys to say Nketiah deserved a red, I felt like Chelsea players were trying everything in their power to try to get an Arsenal player sent off so they could even it out and make it 10-10, which that's what it looked like. And I understand the gimmicks. I understand everything. I'm not sitting here getting gassed over a draw. You guys are at home. You guys are supposed to be the team that's supposed to be dominant at home. You guys are supposed to be the team that shows what you're made up of at home, and you did that. You scored your opening goal, but you couldn't hold on. Once Odegaard came onto the pitch, I thought the game changed. We started to progress. We started to kick on, but then you guys realized the game's different now. They got more creators on the pitch. That's where you started to dial it back. You didn't go as much. But what's disappointing to me the most is second half where we were on top of you guys. We did not create enough clear-cut opportunities where you guys had as many shots on target as we did. And once again, it's another draw at the Bridge where I felt like we should have won. Chelsea fans might feel disappointed that they could have won, but that red card was the reason why you're probably the most angry. Arsenal fans are disappointed because we look at you guys and we said, you guys, you played up to our level. But then when we see you go up against other teams, we see you play down to their level. You're very inconsistent as a team. And Arsenal, we've been able to sustain the level of competition this season where we're now 17 games unbeaten. And if I look at the grand scheme of everything, this result today doesn't change anything for me. We go to Brentford without Hincap, with Saliba potentially coming back to full fitness after missing this game. We didn't even mention the fact that Saliba and Gabriel are both out. No excuses for us anymore. It doesn't matter who plays. We expect to win. And the fact that we didn't win, I'm not sitting here to banter you guys or make jokes about you guys because we didn't win. You can make fun of us as much as we want. We're the better team. We should come to your ground and win. We didn't do that. Fair play. We'll hold corn, but don't act like we lost.
Yeah, look, I understand. Listen, one thing I really think that you said that's right, Egal, is I don't think this changes Arsenal's season. I don't even think. I've been shown a few things now, which is crazy. I've seen a few Arteta outers predict 3 and 4-0 wins for this game, which I just think was a setup. I'll be honest with you, I think it's a setup. It's because then if they win 2-0, they can still say, shit, it should have been 3 or 4. I just don't think any Arsenal fan. Maybe Anton predicted like a 5-0. You never know if Anton, you know what I mean? It's 51. Nah, I reckon you said 7-0 or something, but that's just a joke. Let's all calm down. Let's have a little bit of fun. I've got a few super chats here I want to jump to before we go to some more talkers. It says, part of me wishes that Chelsea played with 11 men. All they did after 10 men was run around, compact, holding for life, proud of the team. What do you make, Chelsea fans, what do you make of this comment here? Do you think you would have been easier for Arsenal to play if you'd have kept 11 men on the pitch for 90 minutes?
They were done.
Not really. No, not really, because let's be realistic. Up to the 38th minute, our midfield was better than Arsenal. We were better than Arsenal up until that Caicedo mistake. So even with that 11 men, I think we would have gone on and win this game. Arsenal, yeah, it may be harder for Arsenal to win now because we are going to be defending, and for them to try to break us down, it would have been harder. But obviously, that would have been the obvious thing for us to do. Hence the reason why I said in the chat before that Enzo Maresca, I understand where a lot of you all were saying that Estevao shouldn't have come off, but I understood why it is he had to come off. At that point, we needed to play counter-attack straight up. And Pedro Neto and Garnacho, although they are probably not the most skillful, they are the fastest. We could have break on Arsenal. And that is what I thought Enzo Maresca's thought process was.
Fair. Kai
You know,
here
you had an opportunity to win the game. Pedro Neto made the mistake of not passing it to Enzo Fernandez, because that would have been an easy 2-1 for you guys.
Understood. I am not saying no, but I'm just saying Enzo Maresca's thought process now. That is what he was thinking. A lot of people say we should have kept Estevao on. No. I think the most sensible thing to do is what he did. That is why immediately I saw that, I was like, this is probably the safest thing to do.
Kai here says it's disingenuous to say either team would win with 11v11. No one knows. So let's praise Chelsea for showing grit and being resilient. Come on, you gooners. It's fair. No one knows, but that's what an opinion is, isn't it? Like an opinion on a football match in that regard. You don't need to know all the facts. You can just give a view. But I hear you. EPL refereeing double standards are shocking. Same tackle, other matches given yellows. EPL referees biased towards Arsenal. What a shame for the best league. Arsenal brought on all their best players. Palmer FC, we was told, and still couldn't win, is what Nav says here. This is the problem when people run agendas. I think they're looking stupid, didn't they? Everyone better than Reece until they play him. Levels is what Sean says here. Something that proud of the team. Proud. There we go. That's great. There we go. Proud of the team. I think we should have kept João Pedro on instead of bringing the lap on. João Pedro had a better hold-up play and was better technically. The thing is, though, you're going to be the same as I looked at Liverpool's numbers earlier, and it'll be the same for you guys because you're in the Champions League. It's 5 games in 14 days for the Chelseas, the Arsenals, the Liverpools, the Cities. You've got to make these changes. You just have to. You can't play these players the whole time. You have to think about the other games as well, which is why you can't win anything with the top coach. You need a top manager who can manage squads and situations. Egal's arrogance before the match. Learn to watch other teams properly before you make moronic statements. Agree with you on Arteta, but humble yourself.
What moronic statement? I came out and I said I thought we would be able to win 2-1 or 2-0. I never said anything crazy. I'm not sitting here saying 5-0, 3-0. And also, if anybody on this panel that's an Arsenal fan, I've probably been heaping the most praise towards Chelsea all season. I don't know if you watch any of my content.
It's difficult for rivals to accept, but Reece is one of the best footballers on the planet, let alone right backs. Just shut up and enjoy greatness. I think it's fair. There aren't very many footballers that are better than Reece James in the world. This is just a fact. Again, and I'm only going by my standards here. Tell me another player. Tell me 5 other players in the world that can play 2 separate positions to a world-class level. Who are they that can do that?
Can we go back to the 1930s when there were only like 11 players?
Yeah, like, genuinely, it's not even a dig, right? It's not the catching one out. Tell me how many players can act. You got someone like Yamal that everyone says should be winning the Ballon d'Or. Plays one position at the moment at that level. Yeah. Even Rodri, could Rodri be a world-class right back? Do you reckon? Like, no. That's my point. It's not a dig at any of these players. Reece James is just on a level that most football players. And the only guy that actually stands out in my mind is Ryan Giggs. It's the only guy I can think of. 2 separate, and don't want someone people keep right left and right wing. No, that's the same position, just on the opposite flank, brother. Same job, innit? Do you know what I mean? Just on the other side. It's like moving to the other side of the office and acting like you got a new job. No, it's the same thing, bruv. Just desk is now
I got one for you. Too. I got Michael Essien when he played for us in 06, 07. He played right back a lot and midfield, and he was world class in both positions.
Okay, fair.
I need 4 more for the free dinner. 4 more. Come on, give me.
Chelsea with a statement draw today is what Ray says here. David, we can grant you Reece James, but keep the same energy for Cucurella versus Saka conversation today.
Yeah, no, Saka was very good. However, I will say this: Cucurella got booked for a foul that was never a foul, and that put him at kind of a disadvantage throughout the game. But still, even when Cucurella was touch tight, Saka did a really good job. So, yeah.
Champions of the world celebrating a draw. Oh, so it's a bit harsh. I'll be celebrating that draw today. Like again, Standard FC have killed football, man. They kill football conversations. You got to celebrate these things. Anton, my old mate, you've looked very upset and angry on the show, bruv. You've rolled your eyes at David. You've been sort of doing this, and you're all right, mate. Break the game down for me, brother. Give us your thoughts, Anton.
Look, the only reason why I am looking that way is because disingenuous shots are being taken at my team when really you guys should just be proud of the performance that you put in today rather than thinking that this is some sort of attack on Arsenal and that all the things we said about Arsenal weren't factual. I'm just gonna say this is my view on the game today. Chelsea played out of their skins. The effort that they put in today, they beat us to every ball. They showed more effort, more fight, and I was disappointed in my team that was what was happening on the pitch today. When we went up by one man, we should be just putting the ball on the floor, controlling it, and moving it around. And it was just disjointed. It wasn't what I thought. The best period it was when we brought Odegaard on, and all of a sudden we started linking a few passes together. But really, when you have one man extra and you have the ability that we have, we should just be moving it around, moving them side to side, making them sweat, making them tired. And I felt like Chelsea did a really good job in trying to deny that. Like they got themselves to halftime, and the first chance that they really got themselves on the front foot and got themselves a corner, and they got themselves in front from that. And I think credit to Maresca for that, because I was looking at there like, why are you bringing on Garnacho as your halftime sub? I was like, this is exactly what I want. And credit to him, it worked. So, but at the same time, let's not pretend all of a sudden that Arsenal have not been great this season. That, like, all the stuff that you were saying, David, like, first of all, taking the Nkapie thing out of context, we played today. No, because first of all, no. First of all, saying if he played at left back, I said he could be the best Premier League left back. He was playing at center back today, number one. And secondly, like Calafiori has been the best left back this season, bar probably Cucu, who I'm gotta say I've been impressed with the way he's hoarded out Liam today. But then when you play, the great Bukayo Saka, obviously you come back down to earth a little bit. But no, I gotta say credit to you guys, Chelsea. But let's not be disingenuous, because then you're discrediting your own performances by saying that, Arsenal wasn't that good, or Arsenal, we've overrated our squad, we've overhyped our squad. We are the best team in the world. I still stand by that. Right now, on form, we're still the best team in the world. You guys played to a very, very high level in order to get a draw at home against us, even when we were missing our best two center backs. And I actually got to applaud Nkapie and Mosquera, who never played together in the Premier League. They never played together in the Premier League.
What's so funny?
And
it's just the fact that Anton he's sat there saying we shouldn't discredit Arsenal, but at the same time, when he's praising Chelsea, he's going, yeah, Chelsea did this, but let's not forget, we didn't have this, we didn't have this, we didn't have this. And it's like, are you not realizing the hypocrisy?
No, because no. I'm going to catch you on that one. David, I'm going to catch you on that one. You know what?
Thank you.
I'm catching you out, because you know what? All you guys said that, shut up. All you guys said that I was overrating the squad. And I just illustrated to you that even though we had players missing, we had our second choice back two, you still couldn't beat us. You still need to put in 100% effort. We were probably a 5 out of 10 in effort, and you were probably a 9 out of 10 in effort, and you still couldn't get 3 points.
Right?
So
yes,
so that doesn't take away from the fact that we have got a great squad, which is where the disingenuous attacks are coming from.
Here's what I would say, right? Let me interject. Let me just say one thing, right? Yeah. I don't want to hear about you all didn't have your first choice center backs. I don't want to hear it. Reason why I don't want to hear that is because every time we come on here, Terry's channel, or you see in social media anywhere, Arsenal fans always bring up the discussion that they have the best squad in the world right now. So if you have the best squad, then you should have proper backup.
I don't think he was using it as an
I'm
not
excuse.
using it as an
No.
excuse.
I don't
I'm
want
illustrating
It's
to
an
you how
excuse
good the
regardless.
squad
He's
is.
I don't
reviewing
want
the
to hear
game.
it.
He was not mentioning it as an excuse.
No.
It's
what
an
it is,
excuse regardless.
this is
It's
an
an
Not an
excuse.
excuse.
No, it's an
because
actual
I said
fact.
you guys
What happened?
right now.
We rotated
Because what
the
Arsenal
center.
I'm not
fans are
using it as
going
an
to be
excuse.
saying.
You're saying that our squad is overrated, and I'm saying that even when our best two centre backs were out, you still couldn't beat us.
No,
I'm
but
saying
in the same, but Anton, in the same breath, I could sit there and go, well, we don't have our best centre back, and
We
we're
don't
missing
have our best
Iceman,
centre back.
Nicole
We
Palmer
don't
FC,
even
and
have our best
we don't have
player
we don't
in
arguably
Palmer.
have two of our five most key
don't.
players.
I am not disputing the
we're not
results of the
mentioning that.
game.
We're not mentioning
I'm
it.
not
We're
disputing
not
the results
mentioning
of the game. I'm not using any excuses or disputing the results of the game. You guys come out here and say that we overrated our squad. I'm actually telling you that this squad is so damn good that even with our best two center backs out, we went away to Stamford Bridge and still picked up a point. That's all I'm saying. Like you guys, I'm not using any excuses. I've never in my history of my life come out and made excuses. That is not what I am. I will always face the music. I'm just illustrating to you that what you said is incorrect in terms of our squad, and that's it.
So what am I getting from what you all are saying is that Arsenal didn't come out of first gear tonight.
Yeah, well, our effort wasn't there. I definitely criticize our effort.
I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing that.
That's just how I felt about the game. I was frustrated that we could have easily raised our level.
But don't get me wrong, Chelsea played
we should have smelled blood in the water. When you guys went down to 10 men,
game.
we should have smelled blood in the water and we should have ripped you up.
Do you know what's really interesting?
Chelsea played well defensively, but you're not speaking on us.
Guys. I'm gonna go to Seb in a second because I haven't heard from Seb or Kojo or Andrew or Kwess really at all yet. I will say this one thing, just as an outsider watching, and I'm actually quite liking the debate, but I kind of look at it this way. I think it's a fair claim to say Arsenal have got the best squad on form in the world. But when you're playing a team as good as Chelsea, 2 or 3 of your best players being out is still going to be a leveler at Stamford Bridge because Chelsea are so much better than people are giving them credit for. This idea that Chelsea are an also run. So again, if Saliba and Gabriel are out and Arsenal were going away to someone of Man United, Tottenham's level, I don't think it should be a factor.
Ooh, is Terry all good?
Terry froze.
Is Freeze?
All right, just as
Premier League shut him down.
What can we say?
Just as he's off though, I like me and Jesse was on my channel earlier this week, and we did a combined 11. It was basically even. I didn't say anything that I wasn't underestimating your squad at all. Just sometimes I feel like I'm always making comments about the squad when you guys are coming at us and we're having to kind of respond and we're having a little bit of a debate. But overall, I will come out and I'm going to apologize to Reece James because I've talked a lot of crap about Reece James over the years, and I thought it was phenomenal today. I do.
Keep it going, though. Keep it going. There's a couple more you need to apologize for.
You guys never came with the attacks on us. We would have.
No. Hold on. Let me just say this. If you remember a couple of weeks back, I think it was you and Seb on the panel, and you lot were going through world-class players. You said we only had 2.
Yeah.
You said we had 2.
I apologize for that.
No, hold on.
It's an opinion. I need to apologize.
No, because the chest.
No, because I changed my mind. I have changed my mind.
If the chest and the opinion is loud, we need the apologies to be loud when you're wrong.
So who else is world class?
That's fair. From the start of the season, I think you've been fair, Egal. I'll give you that. But from the start of the season, you lot have been saying with chest, unequivocally, Arsenal has the best squad, pound for pound, across the entire set of universes. Yeah? You've been saying that wherever Thanos is, the squads are better than them, all of that. So what I'm saying is
Odegaard and Yuckers off the bench.
Hold on. Let me land. What I'm not going to hear today is, we know going to the bridge is a tough game. You weren't saying that 2 weeks ago.
1 second.
You weren't saying that a week ago. A week ago, you lot were saying every time we come to the bridge, you lot don't stop us. You don't get close to us. You ain't even got a chance. Now, all of a sudden, we want to say, a point away at the bridge is tough. Don't you dare.
Bro,
remain
1 second.
Consistent.
Let me reply. You haven't beaten us in 8 years.
You saying it. Anton. So you're going to end up yourself. Well, don't defend Anton. Anton's the one
I'm
that really
talking
coming
about
off the
in
ear.
general, Arsenal fans. I don't care what Anton said. Majority of Arsenal fans going into these 3 games said Tottenham is a breeze at home. Bayern's going to be our toughest game. Our second toughest game in these 3 games is going to be Chelsea. Now,
Right.
now I don't think anyone now after beating Bayern and Tottenham, I don't think anyone in their right mind should not be confident going into a game against a team that we didn't beat, that haven't beaten us in 7 years.
Yeah, but you weren't bringing that up before. You never brought up, oh, we haven't beaten them in 7 years. What you were bringing up was
one of our main arguments.
No, Arsenal fans have been saying for
one of the main
why
arguments.
would we fear Chelsea, bro?
Okay, let me give you an example. When you play Tottenham, one of your main arguments is it's Tottenham. You always beat them. One of our main arguments in why we're confident going to the bridge is you haven't beaten us in 7 years. Last time you beat us, Ganduzi was in our midfield.
We're not Tottenham.
That's what I'm saying.
But you guys have not beaten us.
I hear that.
No,
I was
but
going to Seb. Sorry, interject. Sorry, my computer crashed. I'm buying a new one tomorrow. I'm pissed off with it. Seb, what you saying, bro? Because there's a lot going on here. What do you want to say, brother?
So I'll be honest. I said on stream when me and Kwess were on stream, I said Chelsea would beat Barcelona, and I was right, and I said this game would be close. So I'm more disappointed, not necessarily with the result. I think 1 point away, we're still 5-6 points clear. It's not the end of the world. Chelsea are a good side. I've been critical of Chelsea this year, and I think they showed a grit and determination I haven't seen yet, so I'd applaud them for that. I'm more disappointed at our performance, if anything, just because I just don't see, we just didn't really show up at all. Chelsea from the off were fast, they were quick, they were going into all the challenges. We just didn't get out. I think we were just a bit shocked by that. I think the players, we didn't take that on board. Obviously, a centre back. I know it sounds like an excuse, but having a 2 new centre back pairing is going to have an effect. I don't think it still has to come into comparison, but I would still say we should be winning a game even with 2 players gone. I said Gabriel getting injured shouldn't be an excuse, but I'm just more disappointed in the performance we put in. It was one of those games for me, regardless of the performance, we needed to get the result, really. So the point's not too bad, but yeah, I'm just disappointed with the way we went about the game, especially when they went down to 10 men. They sat deep, obviously, because you're going to do that. And then we just were slow, lethargic. I thought we were better when Ødegaard did come on. We moved the ball a bit quicker. I think what we were trying to do is, because obviously when the game was frantic, Chelsea were on top. So Arteta decided to try and slow the game down to try and regain control, because obviously Arteta is a manager who wants control in the game, and we didn't have that. So the fact that we didn't capitalise on them going down to 10 men, losing a man, they still looked like they had 11 men. That's how good they were today. It wasn't really a factor, but it's just frustrating where we bring on the attackers and we're just still not capitalising on it. We're just putting in long balls. Raya was just long balling it constantly. It's just like they're in a low block. I was just a bit disappointed, especially Lewis Skelly. The last 2 games looked very off. I don't know if it's his confidence, but even today, where there was like 50-50 challenges, he's not going in. He's not trying to dribble past his man. He's playing the safe pass. So Lewis Skelly is a young player, so he's gone through a little bit of a dip. But yeah, credit to Chelsea. They were fantastic. But from an Arsenal fan perspective, I'm more disappointed with our performance rather than result. Result's fine. We move on. If we play them at the Bridge, play them at the Emirates, we beat them, it's fine. We'll be 4 points better off than them anyway. So the result itself is fine. That doesn't bother me. It's the performance that we put in that was poor. Our biggest players didn't turn up. I think the only players that really, Saka was good. Obviously, it helped. Cucurella was on the yellow card straight away. But I think the yellow cards got early. It made both teams, it affected the players a lot, because you can't go into challenges like you would usually do. It mutes some of the players. But for me, all credit to Chelsea. They were really well, but we shouldn't take away from Chelsea's performance. We were pretty poor. I was disappointed overall. Result fine. We move on. But as long as we win the next weekend, if this performance continues into our next game, against Brentford, that's when I'm disappointed. If we carry on playing like that, that's what's bad. A one-off occasion away from home at a hard ground, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm not going to read too much into it. I said the same after the Sunderland game. It's not the end of the world if we draw this game. It's not the end of the world if we draw against Chelsea. And anyone saying we're going to batter them is a moron anyway. But I've always been fairly consistent with drawing away from home. It's not a bad result. It's just because the period where Man City and Liverpool were so good and they were winning, it's just twisted everyone's minds where they've gone, you've got to keep winning every game. It's just like, it's 2 teams that have come against each other. This season, especially when 2 teams have played against each other, good teams, it's been cagey. So, yeah, I'm not too disappointed.
I hate this retrospective talk, man. I can't stand it.
What do you mean?
I'll let everyone else land.
What, When you say retrospective,
No, I'll respect for Andrew.
hang on, cheers. But when you say retrospective thought,
no, I can't bother to deal with it. I genuinely can't be asked.
Hang on, cheers. But we haven't we haven't seen you on the show for weeks. The point is this. Yeah, that's fine. You've been busy. You can't. Seb's saying what Seb's saying. Seb weren't disrespecting you in the build up to this. Said it was going to be a hard game. That's not retrospective.
Not Seb specifically, but the general like Arsenal consensus on the chat and the panelists.
Yeah. What panelists? Please don't tell me you're talking about panelists.
One in the top left corner to me who was chatting before the game, not like this. So,
okay, so one person. Who else?
So Terry, we're being pedantic. Your favorite word?
No, I'm being specific.
Because Terry, here's the thing, yeah. We can talk specific people, but then that's just calling people out for what they say. And everyone can make mistakes in football, right? Everyone can make judgments that don't come to fruition and stuff, right? But the general consensus was before the game, Arsenal have the best squad in the league, correct. Arsenal beat the best team in the league. The world, Europe, Bayern Munich, correct. They're top of the league, correct. Mm-hmm. So before the game, the Arsenal fans, to their credit or to not, they said they were coming to this game to win, not to draw to 10 men, not to see how good Chelsea were. That's why the Chelsea fans are agreeing with me. Now, they're very polite. I'm not as polite as them and do political stuff. I'll say how it is. Have the same energy, not you, Terry, not you or Seb, not Seb specifically, but have the same energy in general, the chat especially, before the game to after the game. So after we draw and we compete and we're not getting bopped and we're not showed levels, don't come now and tell me our squad and our top of the league, a draw's not that bad. I don't want to hear that. I just don't want to hear it. Not Terry.
Yeah, I'm not being pedantic. I'm going to interject them and say this. I hear what you're saying, and maybe Anton is someone who's done it, but the vast majority of Arsenal fans that I've had on the terrace this week, or things I've read in the comments, have been, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a close win if we get it. Other YouTube channels and other YouTubers that have nothing to do with the Football Terrace have said that. So my view is go there and chat to them and their 50 viewers watching them live.
You did have a guy. Terry, even I said it'd be a tough game. I didn't say this was going to be a blowout. I said that you. No, but Terry just said that everybody but me. He said it would be a tough game. I did say it would be a tough game, and I praised you guys' performance. I thought you guys were excellent today, and you guys outfought us. You guys out hustled us.
We weren't excellent. We weren't that good. Don't overdo it. We weren't excellent. We were good. And that's why we're disappointed.
I thought, considering you guys were up against it, you guys were down to 10.
No, but to you, that's what I'm saying. People don't watch our games. Like sorry, Terry. To be specific, a guy called Egal, who is on the Football Terrace, said we're little boys 2 days ago. I can't bring up.
But where did he say that? Where did he say that?
It was his channel.
Yeah, not on the Football Terrace. You're coming here attacking my community. Hang on, you're attacking my community and audience for things that people said on other channels. They didn't say it here.
Because the guy was cheeky. Me and Egal boys, and he was cheeky. He was like, before I praised Chelsea the most, but before the game, he wasn't praising us and going, "It's going to be a tough game." He was saying, "We're going to win." So I just want the same energy. But to Anton's point, I do hear what you're saying about it was going to be a tough game. But I'm so sorry. The boys will agree with me. The Arsenal fans were not speaking like this before the game. They just weren't. If they were speaking like this, I don't think we'd all be saying things like "humble yourself." Dave would mention he has receipts for people. He wouldn't be saying that. But the reason why he's had to say that is because before the game, you would have thought they were going to come to Morgal and beat us 2-3-0, which shows people don't watch our games. This the result today. The only thing that surprised me, Terry, to be fair, was the fact that we learned from the mistakes. I think someone mentioned it about the red cards before. I was worried because we had red cards against Brighton and United, and we kind of fumbled the bag, bottled it, whatever you want to claim it was. And today, I was worried that would happen. And when the goal went in from Moreno, I'm sure the boys were all a bit disappointed we're going to lose this game. So to see a draw is decent, but I'm very disappointed. We should have won the game in the first half. We had many chances. It could have been 2-0 probably, and we probably nicked the game because we just had enough. But unfortunately, we had to get the header from Chalobah to get the goal, and we had to hold on a bit. So it's mixed, but that's what I wanted to say on the retrospective part. I hear what you're saying, Terry, not you specifically, or Anton, maybe he did. I don't listen to him too much, but the energy from the chat and what I've been reading, the Superchats, is very much you're celebrating a draw, which is very ironic, by the way. Because if you know, innit? It's very, very ironic.
But this is also what you remember about the chats and the Superchats is it's just people giving back what's given to them in certain moments, and that's
a cyclical narrative. I hear it.
But
Cyclical.
you're exactly the same because you're
I'm buying into it, and that's why I'm playing my
I
cards.
know because I know what you're like because I've been told by people in the Chelsea group chats you're always shitting it before games, but in the open group chats you talk about how amazing you are. At the same time, we can all. Do you remember Carl Froch? We can all have a little bit of a push and a pull. For as brilliant as you say Chelsea are compared to Man United, you're only 3 points ahead of us. We could all play these silly games, but we all know the truth of the matter that you are much better than us. We all know that Arsenal are the best team in the Prem so far. But where I agree with you is the idea this game was going to be easy for Arsenal, I always thought was an absolute stretch. But the majority of gooners I've come across, and I've only found out about this whilst being live that said it, are the Arteta outers of all people, which tells me they're setting their own club up. Because they don't even back their manager. So why they think they're going to win 3 or 4-0? That's fucking mental.
I think the main problem with it is really that a lot of people won't talk about just a game in isolation. It's an isolation. I would still back us to say we have a really good squad. I still think we're going to win the league, but I'm not going to start throwing my everything out the pram by going, this proves. I don't think this game proves that we're not as good as we say. We just had a bad game. Chelsea had a really good game. We don't need to do overarching statements from.
But to be fair, do not say that last year and the year before, people all said the same thing. When it's Stamford Bridge, where last year, the 1-1 and the 2-2, the same thing was said. Where it was like, we had a bad day. 3 bad days. Coincidentally, having to Stamford Bridge where you draw.
Well, to be fair to you, Ches,
sorry, I'll go to you.
What happened today?
But Ches, what are you saying then?
I was just about to say what I was going to say. But anyway, I was going to say that, in my opinion, I think Chelsea just match up with Arsenal quite well. And we raise our game before to their level. And I think this season we are on their level. We're just too, like Don said to you in that whole debate, if we had their centre-backs, people would have Chelsea as favourites or one of the favourites in the league.
But no one...
But the difference is we had unforced errors. In the games we've lost, because I've got a revise where we dropped points, correct? So we're 6 points behind them. Where do we drop the 6 points? Now, you're going to lose a game or two, naturally, that's Sunderland. That can happen, right? Sunderland against Arsenal can happen. So I'm not going to look into that too much. The games I look into are the Brighton game, United game, with unforced errors. Unforced errors why we lost the points to Brighton. We're cruising 1-0, could have been 2-3. We get a red card and the manager bottled it. And then we lost the game.
I wouldn't say the red card against Man United was an unforced error. We opened you up and you committed a foul trying to stop us scoring a goal.
Sanchez doesn't concede that red card,
but that's a forced error. That's a forced error through us opening you up. That's not an unforced error. An unforced error is more what Caicedo did today because he didn't need to make that tackle and he got himself sent off for no reason. The thing is, though, I hear what you're saying, and the Don debate, I still can't believe Don doesn't understand it. It's not about whether he's right or wrong in his opinion. I'm accepting his opinion. It's the element of, it's like when you say things like, oh, maybe this proves Arsenal ain't as good as they are. I go, well, make your statement about how good or bad they are then. So this is the only thing I challenge Don.
I never said that to you.
That was a hypothetical. Don does this thing where Don says we're really close to Arsenal. The only thing that separates us is centre-backs. Fair statement. I don't care that he says that. It's then when he goes, I'm happy with us making top 4, but Arsenal must win the league. My only challenge is, if you're that close to each other's levels, how comes your expectations are so vastly different to Arsenal's? And by the way, there could be a logical reason for that, but he's still not. All he then says is because our centre backs drop us down a level.
That's the case, though. By the way, we didn't have our centre backs today. Why aren't you
Anton, let me finish. Then, if the centre backs drop you down such a level that one must win the league and the other will be happy with finishing top 4, then you're not as close as you say. Those two statements are that's the only thing I don't care if
that's not my debate. I can't speak for him.
That for me is the only element of that conversation. It's not about what he thinks. It's those two things seem to contradict each other, and I'm trying to understand why.
What I would say, from my point of view, we said this a million times. It's easier to go from 4th to 2nd and compete than 2nd to win the league. So the gains that Arsenal have to make are smaller, but they're harder to do. The gains Chelsea have to make are bigger. They're easier to do, right? So that's why I look at the Brighton game as hugely disappointing, for example. United game, fair enough. Maybe not unforced error. United deserved it, cool. But the Brighton game, we were cruising the game. A better team, more experience in that moment, win that game, and this is another win.
Ches, I agree with you completely.
That's why, to me and on this, going to cut, that's why today's game, I'm okay with the draw because we're 10 men down. But I'm disappointed because the boys will tell you after I speak, in the first half, we should have won the game there. The game should have been done. You get the red card, you can sit back on 2-0. So I'm disappointed in our attack in this game, to be fair.
I hear you, mate. I hear you. Jez, top man.
The only question I was going to ask to the Don point is, if the center backs is the only difference, only what makes us better. Today we didn't even have them. So why didn't Chelsea pump us if they're better than us in all other areas?
To defend Chelsea here, though, the red card happened. We have no idea. 11v, like football matches are hard to assess on normal standards when a player gets sent off, because a sending off is abnormal. It's like at pre-season. I don't assess the performance on pre-season when both teams make 10 subs, because it's an abnormal moment in a game that doesn't exist in reality. So up until that 38th minute, the game was very even, if not Chelsea were edging it. They are at home. I think it does level things out. I don't think
it was still even, though, with our centre backs missing. So his idea is that every other position on the pitch, Chelsea are better than us.
Chelsea were better than you. Chelsea were better than you up until the red card.
No. But what I'm saying is, if he's saying all other players' positions outside of our centre backs are better than us, that means with the centre backs out, they should be better than us all across the board. And you just said that they slightly edged us. That's why I think that idea goes out the window, because we clearly were a lot better in attacking midfield than he gives us credit for.
I hear that. I haven't heard from. I've got a lot of super chat to get to, but I haven't heard really from Kojo or Winter Surfer. I'm going to go to Andrew first. What are you saying, brother?
Yeah. So I'm actually with the whether we could have won with 11. That's my most disappointing thing, because I was denied the opportunity to see if I could win with 11. I don't know if we could have won with 11, but I was just denied the opportunity, and it's really weird. Someone said it earlier that maybe that I think Jesse said it, that a couple of players looked a little bit pumped up, a little bit, overexcited, and I think that was Caicedo, because there was no need to make that tackle. It was in the middle of the midfield. We should just let it go. We were dominating them, maybe not making clear-cut chances, but apart from maybe Esteval's one, and maybe like Pedro should have shot when he, instead of like passing it to Enzo. But was denied the opportunity to see whether we could, credit though. I actually thought when he was going to make the sub, he was going to go push the two wingers up front and then bring Santos on as an extra midfield to like block it like that. But then I think, oh no, with the other midfielders injured, Santos has now got to play like the next 3 games, so I'm not going to risk it, But Reece James was magnificent again today. Big up to Fofana as well, going for another 90 minutes and his comeback. Robert Sanchez, 2 good saves, 3 good saves maybe, but 2 definitely good saves. Yeah, and a good performance. We just couldn't hold out. That was it. We just couldn't hold out. But like you said, after they scored the equaliser, I thought that was when they were going to pile on, and they didn't really. And that's credit to Maresca. It's credit to us. I thought the crowd were amazing. Again, back to back, whole atmosphere. I feel it really drove us on. And yeah, I'm disappointed that in 2 months. I'm disappointed I wasn't given the chance to see whether we could win or try and beat them with 11 men. And now, you know what I mean? So we've got to roll onto Leeds now and make sure that this point counts, because you know what I mean. And next 2 games, we've got to make sure it counts. At least those who wanted Caicedo to have a rest will get arrested. So.
Three games. It'll be 3 games as well, won't it? I think
right?
3 games, yeah.
Or whatever the flipping excuses or whatever it is. But yeah, I thought it was. It was a good game, like I said. But like I said, Reece James was just out of this world, really. And you know what? He's playing more and more. He's playing more. He's completing more and more 90 minutes. He's over a year now without having any sustained injury. And like you said, he's playing awesome. And you know what? I give him a lot of credit, but big up to Chalobah as well today. Not only just with the goal, but just with his club last few performances playing. I don't think he's suited to the left centre back role because he doesn't have a left foot, so he sometimes miss out on that. But he was very good today, and credit to the guys. And you know what? I think people may be disappointed that Palmer didn't come on, but I can see why Palmer didn't come on. Do you know what I mean? We're down to 10 men. He's not played for like 2.5 months. It's probably not the best to slide it in there. So, but very, very good performance. Just like I say, just disappointed. I wasn't given the opportunity to see whether we can win with 11. That was on. And as much as we all praise Caicedo, he's an idiot. He's an idiot for that tackle today. We got to be honest with you. He's an absolute idiot for the way he tackled that. I do like the way he tried to feign injury after he did the tackle.
Yeah, I agree. That was the old. The problem is that's old school. The problem is VAR exists, and it VAR exists.
Yeah,
that was the way he acted like his leg was broke, and then he sort of saw the card and he's like, I might as well get up then. Yeah. I hear you. Kodra, how about yourself? And thank you for being patient. I know it takes a while sometimes on this show to get round to everybody and whatnot. But what do you make of Chelsea today? Can't hear you, bro.
Mute.
You've turned your own mic off. It was his chair that was crackling. Are we back? I can't hear you.
You've been waiting all this time.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there we go. We got you. Yeah,
sorry. My mic weren't plugged in. That's why I took it off. No. Listen, I'm actually excited. I can't lie to you. I'll tell you why. Because from the beginning of the season, what I said about Chelsea, the one thing that I wanted them to improve on is mentality. Right. This whole season, what I saw with the red cards we were getting and the losing games, that really was an indication of our mentality. The last few games I've seen us boss up on the mentality. This game here, I was excited. Watching the game, I won't lie to you, I was never scared. I know they scored, I was never scared. And that's been the first time I've watched Chelsea this season, and for the last few seasons, where I'm watching them, I'm like, damn, at any moment we can lose it. This was the most solid performance I've seen from them defensively as a team, right? Up front, I wanted to say quickly, Liam Delap coming on. I wanted him to come on. I'm gonna need him to put a shift in next game. Because when you're bullish and you can run around, I'm expecting you to put yourself around with consideration. So you're not to put your elbow in someone's face, but come in there, be a little bit more aggressive. The ball's coming in. I want you to trap that ball. I want you to make them defenders, make them lose sleep. You saw what Hincapié did to your boy. I want you to make sure that he's punished for that in a way that's not dangerous, but in a way of I'm bullying you. I didn't see that from him. That's what I want to see. I think Liam Delap can be a great player. He's going to be a great player, but just little things like that. I wanted him to be a nuisance coming on. Otherwise, there was no point you coming on for Pedro. Because really and Julie, we actually had him on, but he won't do nothing. I won't lie to you. He won't do nothing. He wasn't dangerous. He wasn't holding up the players. If anything, the defenders are not scared now. Whereas Joao Pedro, when he was on there, bro, man's having tussles with the defenders. Ball's having to get stuck in his foot. So I wanted to see that more from him. Great players again from Sanchez, from Chalobah, from Cucurella. Listen, no matter what you say, right? Cucurella defending one-on-one with Saka is one of the most. When you're defending someone like Saka, I don't think people understand how nasty it is to defend someone like him, because this man here, he's a stopper and starter, and when he stops, you stop. His first few inches. His first few inches, of acceleration are nasty. You get me? Okay, man's got ultimate skills when it comes to that start and stop. Do you get me? So when you're playing someone like him and then Cucurella takes him out of the game pretty much apart from that one chance, Saka is that good that he got one cross in and he get one goal. That's how good he is. So I don't want to hear no chat ever talking about Saka. He's not being good. He's not a great player. Great players only need one chance. You don't need to play good for the whole game. You only need one chance and you take it. And that's what he did. I want to give Arsenal credit, and I'll tell you why I give them credit. Because in the grand scheme of things, like the Arsenal, Egal was saying, right? If they win this title at the end of the season, games like this are going to say we didn't lose this game. No matter how you feel about it, they didn't lose. Do you know what I mean? Now they could have won. Yeah, it would have been great for them to win against 10 men, but it's better not to lose. Do you know what I'm saying? It's an extra point in your back pocket. I think for us, I do feel about that little bit of disappointment because it's like we played so well, we could have gone on to win. But here's my thing. I'd rather see a consistent set of play. I'd rather see us in the game, and I'd rather see that. Do you know what? I'm happy that we're sad about the fact we couldn't win the game. That tells me we've shifted from where we once were. Do you know what I mean? So for me, this is mentality. I call it the monster mentality. This gets me excited. This tells me I think the next few weeks are going to be amazing for Chelsea going forward. And I think my final kind of sentiments about the game. Shout out to Maresca as well for making a change with Esteval. I know we wanted to keep him on to dribble, but I'm going to tell you this now. I've watched Esteval. He's a tiny man. Okay? Tiny man. Tiny man. What that means is, pause and Didi. what that means
tiny
is,
man. What are we doing there?
He's a tiny man. Pause on that one. Do you know what I mean? What that means is watch. I understood why he had to bring on Garnacho. Not because Garnacho is stronger than Esteval. It's the speed. It's the speed and it's the fear of the defender, knowing he has to double take to make sure, if I'm going forward, if there's a counter-attack, Garnacho can get behind. Now, there was one or two instances where I wish Garnacho would have been getting behind, pause again, because there was a time when Chalobah played the ball in and he just stood there and I was like, oh, well, you want the ball to come before the defender? My guy, we're stretching the play. Again, I'll pause on it. We're stretching the play. So you need to be running behind the defense to scare them. Don't come to. So I think Maresca was great in his tactics, and we saw how in the end as well, how Chelsea slowed down the game. I'm often criticizing Chelsea for slowing down the game, but in this instance, the way they slowed it down, having 10 men, this was mature. This was probably one of the most mature performances. The defense was on point. We just slipped up on one little thing where that one chance Saka got, a thing where we were a little bit overloaded. But honestly, for me, it was a great performance. And onwards and upwards, man, for the rest of the season.
I agree with so much of what you've said, and I think that I think your whole team was mature, barring Caicedo. He was the only one who I think didn't have that in his game today. Aside from that, Chelsea should be very, very proud of it. And I hold my hands up. I predicted an Arsenal win. I went with 2-1. But the one thing I was very careful to say, because I wanted to put this message out, this was never going to be easy for Arsenal. I thought Arsenal would have been better, irrespective of how good Chelsea were. But that's nothing to do with Chelsea. At the end of the day, you've got to go out there and play your game and do what you do. And I think you guys were excellent. It's why all season I've said I think you're going to be in this title race. And I do get Ches when he comes on his point of view that he feels Chelsea kind of get disrespected. What I will say to Ches and to other Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans that feel like that, it does feel, maybe, do you know, I get a little bit annoyed. It isn't even what Ches is saying. I feel like it's two groups of the same people at different clubs that do the same thing to each other, moaning that they do the same thing to each other. They all tell each other's clubs are shit and overrated and crap and you're not really that good, and then get annoyed when they have said about their own club. It almost is a bit tit for tat. Does that make sense? It's like, me and Ches have known each other years. He's a really good guy, but he gets annoyed at the way people talk about his club, but yet that's all he does to everybody else's club. I just feel a bit like, okay, great, you know what I mean? But overall, I think disrespecting Chelsea ahead of this game was crazy. It was always going to be a close match. I love what you said there, bro. I want to speak to some more of you guys. I've got a lot of super chats here as well. This here from Jim says, Arsenal roll up to your house, play really poorly, yet still walk away with a point. 8 years unbeaten at the Bridge is what Jim says here. But I think I lose to what you said, Kojo. Like, Arsenal fans have got every right to feel disappointed at that performance today. Come the end of the season, if you're winning that Premier League title, you may look back at some of these draws when you didn't play well and go, at least we still... The invincible season was a prime example. Quite a lot of the games that you man drew to go invincible, you were fucking shitting. But you managed to get these draws and you went on to win the league. And there is a lot of truth in that. Chelsea fans winning games with ifs. That's the 7 years you did not beat us at the Bridge. 3 wins, 4 draws, small club for a reason, is what Daniel says here. David wants an apology. Here is one. We are sorry you haven't beaten us at home since 2018. Also sorry we are still top of the table. More apologies when you visit the Emirates, is what Footy Talk with Adeyea says here. Lol, this Chelsea joker drew at home. Check the table. Do you know what it is? I get confused as well because I didn't hear any of the things Ches said on my channel, and it was what Egal said on another his own channel, which I didn't see everything. I was just confused. Real world champions versus online world champions.
Which? I don't know.
I think he means Arsenal, the most strongest fan base online, versus the team that actually won the world championship is what I think he means. Let's be honest, Caicedo isn't sent off. We lose that game. Arteta needs to take this game as a learning experience, looking to Brentford now. Come on, you Gooners. I think that's fair. I think it's fair. Fair and balanced from Egal. Love it, is what Kai says here. Ironically, this result still doesn't change the fact that Arsenal are 1 free kick worldie away from being invincible right now, is what Garrett said.
Pretty true.
Yeah, perspective so fun, isn't it? I love a bit of perspective. Someone should have told Caicedo to chill out. I think the referee should have done that by giving that first foul where he pushes Timber in the back. I think if he gets told that foul, do that again, you're booked. I think Caicedo stays on the pitch for 90 minutes. I'm a Chelsea fan, and I just think saying we could have won when we didn't mean... Sorry. I'm a Chelsea fan, and I think just saying we could have won when we didn't means nothing. Arsenal are a very good team, and we did well to draw. But I think you got to look at, listen to what Kojo said, and what Kojo said resonates with me. And I know people are angry when they don't win football matches, but I grew up in an era where you draw games against the other big teams, the other title contenders, the other top sides, and you were disappointed. But it rarely made you change your overarching view of your club, your team, your manager, your season. It really did that when I was a kid. I don't make 8-2s against Arsenal's. Definitely, it did, right? Because you're in a bad time. But I've seen the best Arsenal teams they've ever had draw games against worse teams in this Chelsea side, and no one go, fuck it, halfway through the invincible season, get rid of Wenger, fuck this shit. I think we need to bring that back to our game. I really, really do. The game state before the red had Arsenal controlling the game and Chelsea capitalising on Arsenal's mistakes, forced or not. At that point, the game was more balanced. That we were painting it.
I agree with that statement.
How do I say this in the right way? Arsenal had more of the ball, but Chelsea are the ones that were looking a threat. And for me in football, the team that are on top, I think, is the team that's looking most threatening.
I think, by the way, I'm just thinking back to this game. The most pivotal part of this game was when Sanchez saved the shot from Martinelli. If that goes in the back of the net from Martinelli, we romp them.
It didn't though, Anton. Where's your
No, I'm saying that is the most pivotal part in the game. I'm just saying, because at that point in time, we would have had a chance to run away with it and take advantage of the extra man.
Red card is the most.
They got past that moment. They got themselves into halftime.
Anton, let me challenge you though, okay? Just to show I'm not always glazing Arsenal. What about if Esteval doesn't sky that shot when it's 11v11 about 20 minutes into the game?
Again, they're both what ifs. That is also a very, very valid point. But where we were in that juncture of the game, they just got been sent down to 10 men, and Arsenal, we did have a little bit of the wind behind ourselves because of that advantage, and we played a really, really nice combination play. And if he scores that with the extra man, it could have been a different game. Like, as in terms of, it was crucial that they didn't concede before halftime. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that the Esteval thing doesn't. Like, that's a whole other game.
I don't disagree with your point that it was 0-0 when you had that chance. If that goes in, the game could have been different. No doubt. If Chalobah's header, it doesn't go in, the game could have been different. The issue is that if you're going to use that logic once, then you have to go back. So, ironically, Ches called me out in the group chat. Oh, you guys should be 3-0 down at halftime to Palace. I said, are you forgetting the two gilt-edged chances Casemiro missed in the opening 9 minutes that both should have been goals? You can't ignore all of them.
Right. I don't disagree with you, Terry, at all, by the way. I think we both agree with what we each are saying. You know what I mean? Like, we agree. You were wrong. I'm winding you up. That's a wind-up. This game didn't prove anything for Arsenal. It did for Chelsea. They trade results at their best. Arsenal has a deeper squad. Chelsea better mentality in big games. Ash, do you guys agree? Arsenal fans agree with that? Do you think that Chelsea have a better mentality in big games than Arsenal?
No. We're like I think we have also done really well in big games this season. Obviously, barring the Liverpool game that we lost, and even then we lost to a worldie. I think Chelsea have done really well. I think this result is very good for them. Before the game, I would have definitely taken a draw. In fact, I predicted a 1-1 draw as well. But I think, in the context of the game, you would want us to go and win that game, and I don't think we played well. I think the manager's substitutions in the second half kind of set us back a little bit, but I think any Arsenal fan panicking at this point is only doing it because they're scared that this performance will translate and carry on in the next few games. And that has been proven this season to not be the case. Where we have had bad results, we've gone and won like 4 or 5 games in a row, then had a bad result and gone and won a couple of games in a row. I think especially when we have...
On the flip side of that, Ash, any Arsenal fan that's getting carried away and keeps talking about we're going to win the Premier League and this and that, this is a reality check for you. Yeah, slow down.
Agreed.
Slow down.
Agreed, but I don't think there's anything wrong in Arsenal fans saying we're favorites.
I don't think my team changed on that.
Like to say we're favorites at this point, I think that's a very valid point, because you have to put someone as favorites.
But to be talking like it's over, it's just crazy.
No, it's definitely not over.
They still have a 5-point gap at the top of the league. Then we went away to bridge and got a point. I feel validated in saying that we're going to win the league. Like, this doesn't change anything for me. It isn't.
All right, then keep saying that, Anton. Keep saying that.
Anton, that's exactly what I was telling you the other day on your channel, right?
And I was listening to you too.
This is exactly what it is. I am not saying you Arsenal fans can't celebrate wins and say that you all are favorite, but the way you all are going about it, like it's all over already, right? And that
This is
what
it.
is going to make you all. Remember, I told you, you fans putting too much pressure on your players. These players are on social media as well. They read your comments. So the time that they make one mistake, that's it. That is it.
And I've said
it. Play in their minds.
I've said, this is the most optimistic I felt about winning the league. You had Declan Rice doing the interview the other day. They asked him the same question. He said, "Let's just take a game at a time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just take a game at a time and stop getting so carried away. Yeah, because you can come into a game like this and go up against a 10-man Chelsea team, no Caicedo, no Palmer, and draw the game and drop points. This is the
I would
Premier League.
caveat it out though, Dan, is that if we had won today, we would have been in an incredibly dominant position in the league. I think we would have been in our right mind to be carried away. This was the last chance let's get this right. Phil Foden, by the way, had he not scored in injury time yesterday, that would have been done for City if we had won today. So the margins were that close for us to really tipping this over. Just so happens it didn't happen that way. It just didn't happen that way. It's not like it was not a fair basis behind thinking that. Like we were on the cusp of it really being blown wide open, and it didn't happen that way, and that's just the way it is. But it's not to take away that wouldn't have been the case.
You wouldn't have been that far.
Yeah, I agree with one game at a time mentality, and I think it's something you should. I believe that what fans say and do online gets into dressing rooms, and I've said this for many, many years. And the examples I've always given: Chelsea, Arsenal, 2017 FA Cup final. Every man and his dog, every Arsenal pundit, ex-Arsenal player, every Arsenal channel who's winning the final, Chelsea are going to smash us. The whole world said Chelsea would win. Arsenal won the game. 12 months later, it was the reverse. But with Man United and Chelsea, everyone said United were winning. I remember being in a room with Sophie and Rory, but they used to do Chelsea fan TV. They couldn't see a world where Chelsea won. They ended up beating us. Man United City FA Cup final 2 years ago. No one thought we were winning. We ended up beating them
last year.
Yeah, so you see these things, and sometimes I think what you need to do is be very happy and be proud and praise your team. But there's this element of telling your players, keep your feet on the ground, keep working hard, keep motoring, because complacency is the enemy of success. Because it just takes this is a prime week for it. There's a few weeks like this in the Premier League. There's 3 games in the space of 7 days for all these teams. The league can look different in a week. And you need to be absolutely, and for all teams, like, by the way, it could be really great for you. You could draw today, win your next 2, and both Chelsea, Liverpool, and City all drop points in the next 2 games where you win them, and suddenly you're in an even better position. Equally, one of your games is away at Aston Villa, who have gone from second bottom in the league to, I don't know where they sit now after that draw. Maybe fourth. They're in fourth now because Chelsea got the point. And they've gone into fourth, right? And their home record this season, I think, has been is growing. But I think they're 5 wins on the bounce at home. You've got to go there. You could lose that game, not because you're crap, not because your squad isn't as good as we all said. It's fucking hard.
Football is on the day as well. On the day, anything could happen. On the day.
Anything can happen. Like Saliba can get injured in the warm-up and not be in the team or before. These are the things that can happen.
To be honest, that did change my game. My thought process in this game.
Man United beat Palace. How many of you predicted we'd beat Palace today? Genuinely.
I predicted Palace to win, yeah.
Anything could happen. And that's my old club. I'm shitting. By the way, 1-0 down at half time. How many people went, I'm going to stick a little cheeky bet on United winning? No one. You saved your money. You thought you'd have some Just Eat. This here says Timber and Calafiori are both centre-backs and they play anywhere in the middle like Reece James. Remember, they are centre-backs.
Is the third one who does that too, by the way. So.
Yeah, they're defensive positions, though. I don't think any of those guys could hold in midfield to a World Cup.
If you do 10 and wing, does that count at the same time? Because they're saying by the same logic. Because let's say like Eze or Foden or Palmer can all play 10 and wing.
Palmer's an example. I wouldn't say Foden's a world-class winger. I wouldn't say Eze's a world-class winger.
But would you say Palmer is a world-class attacking number 10 and a winger?
Yeah, you can put him in that category. I think Palmer is someone you could put in that category. I agree. It's a good shout. Egal and Anton are drawing 10 men. Chelsea equals mad online. That's what Chelsea joiner says here. What that means. Biggest disappointment for me today was our passing and first touches. Chelsea's energy and physicality killed the line splitters. Communication from Arsenal was very poor, and it showed on the scoreboard. It's an interesting take. This is why I don't respect or rate Arsenal at any capacity. Yap, yap, yap. I'll end up with nothing. How unusual anyone.
How about drawing conclusions after one game?
No, but see, this is the opposite thing. It's like, so Gunners was saying earlier, like, let's not go crazy and go. But this is also the opposite take of that. Also, don't go mental. Remember, we're 5 points clear. We've had a bad result and we're still 5 points clear. So maybe let's not go to either extreme and let's try to be a bit balanced. Not a good result, fair, but we're still undefeated since August. It must be bad where we are.
And this is bro is extra sassy today, is what Boston Ralph says here. That little seed of doubt is starting to root. Let's keep watering it. Celebrate in November. Cry come May.
Apparently there was one after we drew with Sunderland. Then the next game we showed up and we destroyed Spurs and Bayern Munich back to back.
You predicted 3 wins, mate. You predicted us to be.
I did, and I did.
Happened. Do you understand?
I did, but you know what? 3 out of those 3 games, we got 2 victories and 1 draw.
We got 2 draws and 1 victory. We won one, which we always do. That's what happened.
Wait. We were talking about Spurs, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea.
Oh, that's what the last Premier League. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, okay. Maybe I was wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure we're talking about Spurs, Bayern, and Chelsea. But
this year says John Stones played DM a lot in their treble-winning season and done very, very well. Also, I am happy with the draw. I think both teams played well. Chelsea will definitely be one of the teams who fights us for the title, is what Alfie says here. Great points. Chelsea with 7 world-class players could not.
I mean, turned the Ches thing around on its head.
But this is what I mean by the sort of the kind of point scoring element of it. You go away from genuine analysis and it just becomes a tit for tat. Terry's got Staffy's wife, and I said, my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is 50 gigabytes, bruv. It's literally, I don't know what's happened to my gaming PC. It just keeps crashing and I can't work it out. So I'm so bad with the technology. I just go and buy new ones every time they start crashing because it's just easier. All I hear from Chelsea fans is could, if, would, should. What are you? Excuse FC, don't forget your red card is your mistake, meaning Caicedo is a bozo.
Wait, can I say something? You know this Caicedo red card? Yeah, I think we're being a little bit. Listen, it's a one. This man has made. I think I saw some stats on Sky. The man has made. He's one of the. I think he's in the top 2 in terms of tackles since 2022. Okay, he's made over 200 tackles. Right, so if the man gets a couple red cards, which this is the first one of season, right? Star performer, I chalk up to being it's a silly moment. You know what I mean? It's a silly moment where you've just gone a little bit too far with a tackle. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind my players being excited getting on the pitch and seeing Arsenal. You know why I don't mind being excited? Because when I used to watch Man United, and I used to watch Liverpool, Man United and Arsenal, I used to see Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira kick the crap out of each other, and we never said they were excited. What we said was they're passionate. I don't want people saying that they're excited. People are passionate, and when they're passionate, they play with a vim. I want to see Caicedo play with a vim. Now, he went a little bit too far with his sticker tackle, and it can happen because you're making so many tackles and the way that Caicedo tackles. So I'd rather see him in that position than be saying like, he's toothless.
Good point. You know what I don't get about that though, by the way, on Caicedo's part is that Anthony Taylor was handing out yellow cards like it was candy, like on Halloween. Like, why did he not take that and be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do anything clumsy here or a bit extra over the top, because Anthony Taylor was ready to hand a red card to somebody at some point.
Well, can I disagree?
I disagree.
It was VAR that gave
it. And I think he handled the game well. I think
that's got a red card for that stupidity. Listen, people do stupid stuff because they're footballers and human beings, right? When players do this, Chelsea have had a little bit of a mentality issue though. They've had red cards for the past weeks, so sometimes you have a moment, right? It was a moment, and everyone says he doesn't have to make that tackle. He makes that tackle every game. He makes that kind of tackle every single game. That is why he's Caicedo.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question on it? I don't disagree with your point. Do you think there was an element of Caicedo, because there's the most hype hyped up I've seen him, do you think maybe there was an element in his head of I need to prove I'm the man, like, I'm the best midfielder? Do you think maybe he tried a little too hard?
Listen, this is what I was.
Don't mind.
I was just about to say that same thing, right? Not just Caicedo. Listen, think about it. The three players here that always getting compared to who is the best, not just Arsenal players. Cucurella, Caicedo, and Esteva. I can't remember who it was.
Arguably, Reece James and Timber as well been getting compared as well.
All of
recently,
that.
innit?
This is what I'm saying. Think about it. Look at the players. Esteval got chopped off at the break. We were comparing Esteva with Saka couple weeks back. Cucurella, best left back in the world. He getting a yellow card early. Think about it. I think these guys was a bit too pumped. And it made them do some rash stuff.
It reminds me of Anthony Gordon against Liverpool as well. That one where you could see coming as well in that game too.
And that's
what are you saying, Kwess?
Yes, they were unusually pumped up, right? But it wasn't because of any comparison for me. For me, it's just because it's Arsenal. Like if you go back 2 seasons ago, or no, if you go back, I think it's 3 seasons ago. Caicedo was playing for Brighton. There's a tackle that what's his name, left winger, not Madueke, Brazilian kid. It's escaping my mind. He always shoots wide. He plays for Arsenal. What's his name? Someone tell me, please. Martinelli.
Yeah.
There's a tackle Martinelli does on their right back, 2 minutes later, maybe it's like 5 minutes later, Caicedo absolutely writes Martinelli's leg off and he goes off injured. And he ends up in the boot that season. It's like 2 or 3 seasons ago. You can check it. I saw it before the game and it reminded me on Twitter. So I don't think it's to do with the comparisons. It's to do with the fact that it's Arsenal. And it's not just Arsenal. It's Arsenal in a game where realistically we can close the gap. 1. 2, they've been saying Chelsea are not on their level all season.
Yeah.
So in the back of your mind, you're going, it's not that I'm trying to prove I'm the best. I'm just going to prove to you I'm not an idiot. Don't ever think you can come to the bridge and try to take us like little boys.
That didn't work out though.
2. Then it did work out though, because you lot held it today. And if it was 11v11, I'm sure.
For Caicedo, it didn't work out.
Listen,
right?
it worked out anyway, because if you understand Caicedo, like Coach just said, I said Coach like he's not my brother, bro. Like Coach said, 200 tackles, and on top of 200 tackles, you got to understand, I've seen Caicedo get yellow cards in the 2nd minute, 5th minute, 10th minute, goes the rest of the game, 10 out of 10 performance. This is standard for Caicedo. The difference today was Anthony
today was bad
and VAR. Right? So for me, the issue today was actually that with Caicedo, you got to understand he's like a thermostat. If he reads the room and the temperature's not set right, he's going to lift it. That's what Caicedo does. Raw. This stream is moving mad. Right now.
What's going on with that, brother?
What the hell just happened? It's crazy. It's been going crazy. His computer is.
I was like tripping out my arm, something like that.
I was in a Star Trek portal, bro. I was seeing all sorts.
At least it made negative Dan smile. That's one good thing. At least it made Dan smile.
No, I was just gonna say, like, because for me, like, I could see, yes, for Caicedo was doing a little bit too much today, and I could see just for him, it was like it's Arsenal, and Chelsea, and no matter what the Chelsea and Spurs game is, the reason why that gets heat is because Chelsea don't respect Spurs. Chelsea respect Arsenal. We respect each other, but like you say, it gets to the players. For me, the biggest issue was, if anything was going to get to them, is how much disrespect Chelsea have gotten. And we can say they haven't got so much disrespect, but from the beginning of the season, it's World Cup champions who, it's, oh, your squad's not good enough. And Anton especially, right? Because I knew I wasn't going crazy. Just a couple of weeks ago, this was the same guy, Anton, that was saying, you boys have a worse back four than even some of the other Premier League sides, right? Yes. And I said, you should smash this easy. Don't let me show it to the camera, bro.
Which is funny, that's where I happened.
Don't let me show it to the camera. You went on to say, no, this is my time. This is my time. You went on to say, Hincapi, Mosquera, and Ben White would all be your best centre-back. So I said, you should smash us easy, and you said, we will. But it's not just you. A couple of weeks ago when we was doing the how many world-class players, that's why I was getting on to Seb. Seb said, didn't you guys lose to Karabag? You can't be in any title race if you lost to Karabag. This is the type of disrespect I'm talking about. Too early.
No,
too
fair.
early.
And I will say,
the difference is, hold on, let me just land.
Okay,
The reason why I'm not even going to cuss Arsenal too much, but I was getting on to Anton, especially in our side chat, was because I said, if we're saying, oh, now it's a tough result because it's bridge away, then you have to give more respect. You have to.
So
earlier in the season, let me finish. Earlier in the season, when we drew in our derby games, I was telling you all, it's a derby. Derbies change the way you play. Not a single person gave credence to that for Chelsea. Not a single person. That is a fact. Now today we're saying, oh, it's tough. But no. It's tough. It's tough for Arsenal. It was tough for Barcelona, and it was tough for PSG. Why? Because it's Chelsea. And when Chelsea are settled and playing their best football, this is what you go up against. So that's just my
agree.
point.
I agree with you. Well. I was looking at something. I'm going to come to you next. Sorry, Anton. I was looking at something while you guys were talking earlier, because obviously Arsenal being told, a lot of people saying best squad in Europe, one of the best, and I think they have. And what you said there about Chelsea is true. But there is this thing of if there's a slip up, if there's a bad weekend or a bad game, that's proof it ain't true. I went and looked at maybe the greatest single season in many people's eyes a European club has ever had in terms of trophies being won and how good they were. And that is the 08-09 Barcelona team that completed the treble and still to this day are regarded as the greatest club team of all time. They lost the opening La Liga game that season to Numancia. I don't know who the fuck they are. I never heard of that La Liga team, right?
They lost 1-0, yeah. And then they drew the second game.
Yeah, and then they drew the second game to Racing, right? And they went on a good run, but they drew with Real Betis that season. They drew with Getafe. They then lost later on in the season to Espanyol. Atletico isn't an embarrassment, but they lost 4-3. They lost 2 of their last games. They probably already won the league by that point. In the Champions League, they lost a group game to Shakhtar. They also lost one of their qualifiers to get into the Champions League that year. 1-0 to Lyon. 1-0 to Wisla Krakow or whatever.
Yeah. They drew to Lyon. They drew to Lyon the first leg in the round of 16.
Yeah. I'm talking about that games they've lost, right? And the reason I bring that up is that's arguably the greatest club team of all time. Many people believe it is. And they still lost and drew to average and bad teams that year. One thing, and there's banter, but then I keep saying this, there's no issue with banter. But it's when people take banter and start trying to make real arguments out of it, I think it's getting tiring now. Arsenal not winning today, even though they're against 10 men, is not proof that they're shit. Equally, Chelsea going down to 10 men against Man United and Brighton and throwing those games away isn't proof they're not growing or moving forward as a team. Sometimes we can just review a game in that moment, in isolation, and move on from it. Surely, maybe that's what
Terry. It's funny you say that, because I've always said I think we have the best squad in the league and one of the best in Europe. And I watched your show a couple of weeks ago when I think you had LB and Positive Dad and Aaron and some others, and you mentioned that Arsenal are one of the best squads in Europe, and they were arguing, one of the best. It's not the best. And when you asked them, okay, which squad is better, they were like, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. You can't say we're definitely not the best, but you don't know who's better than us. That makes no sense. If there's a team that's better than us, you should be able to say, yes, this squad is better than Arsenal. But when you get asked which squad is better than Arsenal, and the answer is, I don't know, I have to think about it. So then you can't say Arsenal are definitely not the best either. They're mutually exclusive. You can't exist. You either say this team is definitely better, or if you don't have an answer, you can't definitely say we're not the best, though. That for me just like does my head in.
Well, yeah, if you've never thought about it, that means you shouldn't have an opinion either way, because I never thought about I ain't thought about that, so I'd have to think about it before I give an answer. If your knee jerks to just say no, that's typically whether it's about Chelsea, whether it's about Arsenal. If it's about Man United, you'll probably be right. But I hear you, and I think there's just that element. And there is time to have fun, and there is time to have some banter. My issue is, and I see this a lot at the moment, and the mainstream media are the worst for it. They take things that are a little bit of a joke. And you saw it on CBS, one of the best platforms out there the other day. All they were talking about after the game was how good were Arsenal today against Bayern Munich. And this one pundit just kept on saying, yeah, but what have they won? It's irrelevant to reviewing a game. It's irrelevant to reviewing a match, right? It's like today, Chelsea did really well in areas. But imagine the punditry was to that. Yeah, but they ain't going to win the league, are they? So what does it matter? That's what we're now doing with football punditry. Right. And I think it's wrong. It's Man United ain't winning the league. Doesn't mean we can't praise our second half performance today. It's kind of weird the way it's going for me.
Right. I want to respond to Kwess quickly, because I actually do want to be a little bit humble, and I do want to apologize for a few things. My perspective on Chelsea has changed recently. So having seen the way you performed against Barcelona, having seen the way you performed today, I actually think that you guys are a lot better than I thought you were, and I underestimated you. No, I will say that. Now, at the same time, though, I don't want to. I don't think that means that you should then be coming back at my squad and telling me that I've already overrated my team, because I think both things can be true. I do think that you guys are a lot better and you have earned my respect. And I told Jesse the other day, if you guys would have beaten us, I would have come on here and said that I thought you guys were our main challengers for the title. I still think, though, actually now that I actually agree with that. I think you've been more consistent this season than both City and Chelsea and Liverpool, excuse me. So I actually think that you guys are now in this conversation now. I think more so than even those two teams. So, Kwess, I apologize for some of my past comments, but I actually have a higher respect of Chelsea now.
Oh.
I respect
Man's
that.
tune changed up now, Anton. I like that, man. I like that.
I got respect on that, to be fair. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't admit when they're
a lot
wrong.
of people would never do that, yeah.
A lot of people are little bitches, you know what I mean? And the female dogs, I mean. Arsenal, first got to make sure you say that. It's cancel culture and all that, isn't it? Arsenal fans should just shut up about centre-backs. Chelsea have been playing teenagers and hate against Liverpool. Best team in the world without a trophy. Arsenal are just delusional. You are not winning the league. So, listen, you're entitled to the opinion they're not winning the league. I'm not pushing back against it. Who do you think
But then who is?
But how is that delusional to say the team at the top of the league is winning the league? That's the league.
Mad.
Striking distance without what's CB?
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer, Colwell, Fofana all season, and the youngest team in the league. They let everyone back into the race.
Yeah, but we have something similar, right? No Odegaard, no Havertz, no Gyökeres, no Gabriel. Today, no Saliba. All teams have these problems. It's not just you guys. City also have had injury problems too, right?
Can I say, yeah?
Go on, mate. Go on.
So I was going to say, do you know what I actually think the moment was when I thought, oh, this game has shifted, yeah? Was actually when Arteta took Eze off. For me, watching him take Eze off, I was like, oh, he doesn't believe his players on the pitch right now.
I think that was a mistake. I thought he should have taken Moreno off. I think Moreno scored the equalizer, cool, but I thought that if he really was going to go for this game, he would have taken Moreno off for Gyökeres instead of Eze off for Gyökeres and really gone Odegaard, Eze, Madueke, Saka, Gyökeres, and really gone all at it, and he didn't do that.
Well, can I tell you what? Sorry, my voice is cracked. Sorry, I lost my voice for the weekend. Can I tell you what worried me about him making that decision was I read that as he's going, okay, we're going scorched earth. We're fully going full control of the ball. They're not getting a touch, and we're going to pin them into their own box. But that to me is worrying because that to me goes, okay, Arteta reverting to type means he doesn't think he's got anything else he can bring out in this game. So that was how I read it. I could be misreading that completely, but I read it as Arteta going, crap, we have to go back to what we did before because we've got no other way in. And for me, that's why it looked even more disappointing to come out with a draw, because it's like, actually, this new way of playing for Arsenal is so much better. So much better. I don't want to see Arteta go back to what let him down, because truthfully, if he goes back to that old school like Man City way of just 95 minutes of just pure hold him there, pass, you're going to get teams hit you on the counter. Like, that's the difference between Eze and Odegaard. Odegaard don't shoot. So I was just like, yo, every time he's got the ball, push him wide.
That being said, I think a lot of what you said holds sense. That being said, if Timber just ducks out the way at the end, Gyökeres probably wins the match.
No, I was yelling at
and this is the thing. And then everybody would have gone, the substitutions were bang on because they won the game.
So funny. If Timber knocked that out of the way, Terry, your pre-match analysis would have been absolutely.
I mean, my prediction would have been so accurate. I would have lost out a lot of money. But even to that super chat about everyone's back in the title race, the title race is still on. Title race is 38 games for me. The race doesn't start with the last 10 matches. But if we look at the points Arsenal have and everybody else, and you look at their run rate and what they're tracking towards 87 points, Arsenal right now. City are tracking towards 73. Chelsea are tracking towards 70 points. Just the context, United are tracking towards 61. So Chelsea have still, over the next 13 plus games, have got to go up such a level compared to Arsenal to catch that gap over the course of time. There is still, although it's 5-point gap now, and it seems really low. Chelsea have got to keep improving, and you've got to hope Arsenal consistently drop off. Otherwise, the gap keeps rising. This is the crazy part about it. If you look at the points per game so far this season, if it continues as is, Chelsea will finish 9 points ahead of Man United, but Arsenal will finish 17 points ahead of them. That's the element here. Now, I think Chelsea are going to keep getting better, by the way. I think Chelsea will close that points gap because I think Chelsea will keep improving. But that's why when people say they've let people in, they're not going to win, that's too extreme because one, the title race was never over, and two, a couple of tough draws away from home in tough places doesn't dictate the world coming to an end.
How accurate is that tracking that you're talking about, Terry, man? This is the Premier League. We just don't know what's going to happen, man.
Yep.
Yeah, but that works in both directions, doesn't it? You are right. Arsenal could fall off the edge of a cliff. Arsenal could stop performing consistently well, start losing more games, but it will be accurate because then their points per game will start to drop.
I don't think that's going to happen, but yeah.
Well, there we go. So if your performances maintain at this level, it's highly likely you maintain. And by the way, winning the league on 87 points is not astronomically high. It's not tiny, but that's a kind of good points total to go for. It's just looking at your points per game. Where I think there are some anomalies is Newcastle. I think Newcastle's performances have been better than their points total. So you expect it to grow as an example. I think Arsenal's is about right. You are where you should be. Performances and results at the end of the day. I think
Liverpool's will get better too.
Liverpool's will definitely get better in my opinion because you know how good that team and squad is. So you have to apply context to it. I think Chelsea's will get better, but the idea that because of a couple of draws, Arsenal are screwed, I don't think it works in reality when you review the games with your eyes. But mathematically speaking, it hasn't changed too much for them. But that's why I believe in what the boys said. Take it a game at a time and just go win your next one. Win the next one. Don't start thinking too far ahead. Players should never really be doing that. Managers should. Players should just be thinking about the next team you're playing, what they've got to do to win that game. And how do I know that? My team's crap now, but I saw my team win 13 Premier League titles in my life. And every great player at our club said that. That's what they do. Why do they say that's what they do? Because that's what Fergie made them do. And I'm going to trust what those boys did over the opinions of anybody else online, if I'm being honest. Arsenal panel, don't let the Chelsea fans put you through this struggles session, asking for apologies and other nonsense still top of the table. Arsenal got a point with a backup centre-back proof of depth.
That's my point, exactly.
That's against 10 men, though. That wasn't a real test for them, let's be honest. What are we talking about?
No, but it's still 0-0 with 11 men on the pitch.
Yeah, but Chelsea was on top. It was on top when they had 11
would you say, no, but Dan, would you say that Nkapie and Mosquera today were crap?
They wasn't great. They looked shaky.
Yeah, they were shaky in the first half.
They played together ever. Like in the Premier League.
Yeah, I understand that, but they had the average game. I didn't say they were bad, they weren't good, but yeah, it wasn't Saliba and Gabriel, and that's my problem.
No, but let's say give them 10, 11, 12 games together playing like that, they would be a lot better. They played together for the first time. That's my what's the illustration?
Normally, we don't know what they're going to be like. We need to wait.
By the way, in context, if Nkapie and Mosquera played 10 games together, that means we're not winning the league. That means we've had major injury issues and we'll be in big trouble. We need
but I think they would look better. They would look better together.
Yeah, of course. But I don't know if it'd be good enough to win the league, though. That's the only problem.
Well, I'll say, of course. I mean, if we told me that we weren't 10 or 12,
does anyone know what's going on with Saliba?
Yeah,
apparently it's just a knock, and Arteta said it's just a knock, and he might be back next year.
I think he just didn't want to risk having that. You got Saliba and Gabriel both out for long periods of time.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta make sure that I gotta get this guy healthy. So.
I look at it twofold, right? I agree with you, Dan. I remember hearing the Saliba a few years ago. It was always played down, but he was out for months, and it always sounded like it was weeks. Equally, if it is just a knock and he's rested him, a lot of Arsenal fans 3 weeks ago were wanting to sort of, what's that word I'm looking for? Castrate Arteta because he plays players when they have knocks. So it's one of them two things, isn't it? It's if he's not played him because he's got a little knock, then those same Arsenal fans should say, well done, Arteta. But, results always dictate what people say and do more than anything else. They played City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and have 0 wins.
Can I come on to that point? I was thinking about this. When we look at our biggest games of the season as Arsenal fans, I would say it was Man United away. We got the win there. Wasn't really convincing first game of the season. Newcastle away is another big game. Got over the line. Straight pass, if you ask me, 2 set pieces. Then you had Liverpool, lost that game. Man City drew that game. And now we've come up against Chelsea and drew that game. I don't want to hear about Tottenham because we beat them every season at home at the Emirates. That's easy peasy every season. That's nothing new. Do you understand?
That doesn't mean it's an easy game, though.
It wasn't
easy.
It was
easy. It was easy this season because we made it easy. That doesn't mean every season it's easy. Last season we struggled to beat them, and the season before that we drew against them at the Emirates. Right? You're saying it that way, Dan, but I can look at it the other way. I can say, last season we drew to United. This season we won. Yes, we lost to Liverpool, unfortunately. Worldie of a free kick. We should have played better. We played.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, correct. And he played a very shit midfield against them and against City, which is why we dropped points. Fair enough. Chelsea at the Bridge in context is a bad result, but before the game wasn't a bad result.
3 seasons old, last season. 3 draws and 3 seasons. No progress.
And you say Newcastle, we won by set pieces. We've lost to Newcastle the last 2 seasons. So if you compare the same fixtures with last season, we've actually gained more points than we have lost against the teams we dropped points against. West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Newcastle. So we're actually net positive in that regard. So it's easy to look at the negative side.
In the league over everybody else. It clearly must not be that big of a deal, to be honest.
Yeah, I actually am confident when Liverpool come to the Emirates. I'm confident when Chelsea come to the Emirates. Obviously, City, I know it's different. It's at the Etihad. But we have to look at the full picture, man. Like City and Liverpool and Chelsea have not been flawless this season. They have dropped points at home in City games.
You know what?
So go on, Kojo. Go on, bro.
All just quickly, I was going to say, because obviously at the beginning of the season, we did our predictions, right? I said wildly that Chelsea will win the title, right? And it sounds crazy. But we're not far behind at this point. But I said Arsenal. I liked what Arsenal were doing this season. You know what I mean? And my only thing with Arsenal is I just want to see what happens in February. That's all I care about. Like everything else up to now, I don't think any Arsenal fan should be angry. I think you guys are in a great position to be 5 points clear is amazing. Like in the Premier League of this title, it's amazing to be 5 points. For my fan who's on the opposite side, I'm secretly hoping you guys are meltdown. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm waiting for February, and I'm hoping that a meltdown happens for you guys.
I totally agree.
It's a match proportion. That's what I'm saying. If not,
I think you've got a fair point. It's people keep coming at me and going, so when are you going to say that Arsenal are the outright clear favourites? I would have been tempted to have said it if they'd have won today with a 7, 9, and 11-point gap. But for me, I've still only got them as marginal favourites. But the reason,
can you imagine if City like Foden doesn't score in the 90+1 and then we win today? What it would have looked like the table would have been 9 clear.
Most people would have said it's over. Most people would have said that.
I think if you had a 9-point gap today, that's when I would say you were clear favourites, because that essentially means you've got to lose 3 more and draw 2 more than all those other teams for the rest of the season. And right now, I can't see that happening. But it didn't, which is why still for me, you're only the marginal favourites. And Kojo's right. Like there is this period. I'm not even thinking February. There's 3 games in a week here. You've got the Champions League then coming after it. The festive period is really busy. Then the FA Cup comes into play. There is so much football to be played. It's why I think and maybe they've gone a bit too far and the performances haven't improved. But when I saw Liverpool fans lose their heads when they went 7 points behind, I was like, it's a couple of wins. And there are about 4 or 5 weeks in the Prem where you play 3 games in a week. And who knows what can happen in those games, man? It's just maybe it's because I'm not someone that gives up very easily at anything. That I don't like seeing people just give up.
By the way, that Jan-Feb period will also be interesting for Chelsea, actually, I think, even more than the other teams. Because in the last 2-3 seasons, Arsenal and City and Liverpool, I'm just adding Liverpool in this case, in case they pick up form, have been used to playing Champions League, Premier League, Champions League, Premier League. This is the first time Chelsea's going to be playing that for 3 or 4 years. I don't honestly remember, because I know you played the Conference League last season, but you played technically your second team midweek, so it's not the same.
Yeah, and we don't really do well in the festive period, Christmas time. That is the hardest time for Chelsea Football Club.
And January, like last year, January, you guys really fell off. So I think there's all these things to look at. Which, by the way, like actually, to be honest with you, a draw today, I love, because it keeps things closer and it keeps the conversations going, which is literally my job. I will continue to back this team, but why are some Arsenal fans so against admitting we were bad today? No excuses, reset and go again. I think what I will say, no, hang on, what was it, Matt? I don't think he's talking about the panel. I think he's talking across the board. I haven't watched everything else, but you're right, Matt, and that's why the Football Terrace, we give you those variety of opinions. But this is to the Gal earlier. You said you were going to beat Chelsea. It's just really funny, right? I had someone earlier today put a tweet out about me saying, why does Terry never get clipped up when he gets his score predictions wrong? So I politely responded and said, because I don't disrespect the other team when I'm doing it. That's why no one clips me up. I don't sit there and say, Chelsea is shit. Arsenal are going to slap them. If I did that, I get clipped up every week when I get things wrong. It's about being respectful. I don't know what Egal said, so I can't speak for him, but there we go. We have had CBs out and fully fit. Palmer didn't play. You did not understand who Palmer is. Let's not think about if we had X player out. Just talk about the game. You Chelsea fans have the same energy. You all said you had to win and you were going to. You drew the game and you are asking for apologies. They were down to 10 men, but by their own stupidity. What is this nonsense?
Not me.
To be fair, I think what they are all saying is that we've been overly disrespectful of their team. And we've shoved them to the side and counted them out, and they just want everyone to know that no, we are a much better team than you think. I don't think it's ridiculous for Ches and Kwess to say what they've been saying. To be honest, like I'm just going to be out there.
Yeah, I just think Ches should go to the channels where it was said.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. I've streamed with Ches before. We had a conversation with Ches 2 weeks ago. I don't know about Kwess, so I'll leave Kwess out of it. Ches shouldn't run his mouth when we ask him. When we asked him a couple of weeks ago, do you think you're going to win? He always sits on the fence whenever we ask him this question. Mo and I always ask him, are you winning? Are you doing something? Are you challenging? I'm not saying we're challenging, but what I am saying is you are disrespecting us. But what I am saying is we are good. But what I'm saying is we might not win. But what I'm saying is give us a straight answer. You can sit on the fence, give us the Humpty Dumpty kind of answer, and then go like, why are you disrespecting my club?
Well, he said something in a group chat today and he hasn't responded to me. At the end of the game, he wrote something with words to the effect of, watching Arsenal, I don't really think they're that good. And I went, so what are you saying? Who's going to win the league? Could it be Chelsea? Because if you make a claim now, I don't think Arsenal are that good. Do you think they'll win the league? Well, I don't know. Will someone else win it? Oh, I can't see that happening. So are they not that good? Like, I don't understand that there's a lot of statements that get made, but there's no follow-up. It's just a bit of a throwaway comment, I feel, and that's.
Yeah, I don't like assessing an entire team based off one game. That's just I don't like.
No, I wouldn't either. No.
Yeah.
It's like when Chelsea got beat by Sunderland. Like, it was worth the criticism on the day of the bad elements, but the people that were writing their whole season, I thought was mad. Does the best team always win every game? No, you're absolutely spot on. Why are we acting like they weren't talking as smoky as Arsenal fans? Now they are celebrating a draw. End of the day, they're still 6 point clear. I will say this: there are definitely Chelsea fans who did it because we collated a lot of Arsenal and Chelsea tweets, which I'm so gutted about. We had 2 very good reaction videos ready for if one lost, because there were a lot of mouthy fans from both sides online. Because it's a draw, it's a bit meh, but I saw a lot of big Chelsea accounts talk about smashing them as well. It happens on both sides, if I'm being honest with you.
To be honest, Tottenham fans last week saying they're smashing Arsenal.
Yeah, of course. Arsenal fans talking about Saliba not being on the pitch. We literally lost our best and informed player to a red card and still got a draw with 10 men.
Again, it wasn't an excuse. It was just when people were saying, "Oh, you think your squad is as good as you think it is," and I'm just
it's a massive miss.
Illustrating to you that our squad is as good as you think it is. It's not an excuse, nothing to do with the game today. That's all that is. We're not using it as an excuse for this is why we didn't win.
You think the scoreline? Sorry, you would have thought the scoreline was 5-0 Chelsea. The way Chelsea fans are talking, Arsenal fans are disappointed with the draw. Chelsea are gassed.
It's the context, guys. Let's not be disingenuous. They played well with 10 men. Let them. It's fine.
Yep.
If they're getting crazy and they're saying they have a better chance to win the league than us, then yes, that's going overboard. But if they're celebrating the game, I think that's fair.
Yeah, because I know every single Chelsea fan pretty much when that red card happened went, oh, we've lost. You do.
Oh, yeah. What said it?
I said, bro, that's it.
Gift from the gods. I thought it's over.
I said that's it.
Yeah, I was like, this is it. This is our year, bro. Boy,
I was more fuming with Maresca's lineup, to be honest with you, because I felt like that was because for me, João Pedro was not ready to start this game. Should have been Delap. He's the one that's been playing the most, and he's the one that's not playing the most. He's been getting up to speed, but I mean, in terms of these games, he's been the one that we've been picking. So for me, then it frustrated me more to see him not pass the ball to Esteval and that chance, and we would have been anyway. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, man. It's all gone.
Well, that's what match reviews are, though, man. People always do that. Why are we doing shoulda, coulda, wouldas? That's part of a match review. What would you have done differently? What did you think of this? The idea of why I hate with if buts and listen, I've had it with David on the United stuff. He spent the first 2 months he was on the Football Terrace telling me to not do if buts and maybes. All I've heard from him in the last 2 months is if buts and fucking maybes. Do you know what I mean? Everyone hates him.
David, by the way, is so happy that we drew a game today. You should see I'm like, and he's saying going down on his shorts going, David, I'm not scared of Arsenal. I don't know why everybody is saying Arsenal are scary, but he acts the most scared of Arsenal than any fan.
I always say that, nowadays, like everybody gets really weirded out by anything that's homosexual. They're like, I've got to let everyone know that I'm not. I grew up in an era where anyone who did that, we used to think, well, you're hiding something, bro. You can come out. It's fine, man. It's no judgment here. Anyone who's like, I am scared of Arsenal, my first thought is, you're scared of them winning, aren't you? Like, I can see it. Because if you weren't worried about Arsenal, you wouldn't be worried about Arsenal. Like, your physical reaction to it proves you've got a fear there. Of course you have.
Also, Terry, on the ifs, buts, and maybes, your whole business model as the Football Terrace would get destroyed if that didn't apply. Otherwise, what's there to talk about?
Well, every single YouTuber's channel would. Every match reaction shouldn't exist because they're all.
Why do you do a match preview or match review?
Yeah, they're all woulda, coulda, shouldas.
My least favorite conversation is
hey, I apologize for using that phrase, guys.
And someone just goes to you, but you lost. I hate those conversations. But you lost.
I hear ya. By the way, I don't even mind guys like Andrew celebrating a draw, but when I see people like Kwess and Don stick their chest out,
where is Don today?
Don was at the game. He was at the game.
He's at the game. To be fair, I wasn't sticking my chest out. I was just saying there needs to be due respect given to the Club World Cup champions, not the best in the world, the Club World Cup champions.
Ches, Arsenal fans weren't worried about losing. We aren't celebrating a draw. Did you lose? Arsenal fans expected to come win. Chelsea were 10 for 10. Chelsea didn't create anything before the red card. That's not true. Esteval skied a really good chance, my friend. That's not true.
That chance, but that was a mistake from Mosquera.
2 chances he skied.
Let's not come here and not tell the truth. They definitely did.
Massive respect. Pause. Bruv, that's a weird pause.
By the way, I hate the word pause. Like, honestly, it's so childish. Everything pause. Why can't we just have grown-up conversations?
Kojo's like, you seen the size of my arms, bruv? I'll show you grown up.
It's true. We shouldn't be saying pause. We're grown.
Yeah. Fair point made without the need to banter the truth out of the conversation. I absolutely agree with you. And there's room for banter, but I actually find there's too much of it. Maybe I'm old and boring. I don't know. Raya was there. That Esteval shot would have been saved. Well, it depends where he puts it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It depends where he puts it. Because some
is that your cousin, Anton? Is that your cousin?
That doesn't even make sense to me, this one, either. So,
yeah, Anton's like, I'm delusional, but fuck me. See, there's a bit of banter and then we get back to seriousness. That's how it's done, kids. Arsenal was mentally tired, I think he means, or monthly. It can't be mentally tired.
Mentally, he means mentally.
Mentally. 9K more than Tottenham. Listen, it's a tough week for Arsenal. Do you know why Chelsea win trophies? Because we let everyone do the talking. So when we rock up to everyone else who questions us, people don't like it. This is what Nav says here. Man on the bottom right just said Anton's chat got Caicedo to make that challenge.
Hey, I'll take that.
I didn't say that, but
hey, if I can get guys sent off every week, I'll do it.
I'm an Arsenal fan. I agree. We are favourites now, but we should take it one game at a time because things can change very quickly. But I am not going to the other extreme and say we are going to bottle it just because it's a draw. Yeah, balance. That's a great.
Leave the
chat.
PTSD behind, guys. Leave the PTSD behind.
City beat Arsenal with an 8-point lead in January. Challenge.
They had a game in hand of 5, but anyways,
yeah. Equally, would anybody argue? Is there any team currently in the Premier League, maybe barring Arsenal, that's as good as that City team 3 years ago? That's also got to be factored into the conversation, right? That was a team that could win 15, 16, 17 games on the bounce. I don't think there's a single team in the league this year that can do that, including Arsenal. Partly because there's too many good teams. Like you think about, I've done this 3 weeks running when I say this, but just think about when you go away to anyone currently in the top 13, maybe barring Spurs, whose home form's rubbish, Newcastle away, Bournemouth away, Brentford away, Palace away, Liverpool away, United away, Sunderland away, Brighton away, Villa away, Chelsea away, City away, Arsenal away. There ain't no team in the league that you look at.
No gimmies. There's no gimmies.
Every single one of them is difficult. It's crazy.
That's more than half the league, which, again, that's why it's just like, it's different now. The league is different from 3 years ago, so we've got to assess it for what it is today. Will Chelsea win against Leeds and Bournemouth considering their performance today? The problem is not being pumped against Arsenal, but against all teams as other teams are getting better. I suppose a question for the Chelsea fans is, do you worry that like 2 or 3 really big games in a week and then 2 more games in the space of the next 6 days, could that be a different challenge for this young Chelsea squad to go through so many intense games and important games in a short space of time, which didn't really happen last year?
Go on.
Oh no, because you know what? I won't lie to you. I'm not concerned about these boys right now. I said because again, this why this game was so important for Chelsea and Arsenal. Barcelona was good. I love the fact we won 3-0. Beautiful. Okay, but this game here against Arsenal for me was all about the mindset because once we went to 10 men and they scored a goal, they had enough time to pepper us again. Right. And so the fact that we didn't concede a goal, I'm very much confident that, you know what, these boys are going to kick on and keep that. It's been a couple of clean sheets as well. I know that this game wasn't one of those, but we had a couple of clean sheets for a little while on a trot. That's been something that we haven't really been able to do. So already that tells me that as a team, remember I was saying to you earlier on, Terry, in the beginning of the season, that Chelsea's that team thing needs to come into. Like having clean sheets is not about having good defenders. It's about having good defensive play generally as a team. Yes. So getting those clean sheets is not.
Caicedo being out for 3 games though, bro. Is that not going to come into effect?
It's good for us. I'm going to tell you,
Santos, it's good for us. Yep.
It's good for us. Just like Palmer being out was good for us because it means that other players now have to step up. We said if we're saying we spend all this money, I need to start some of these players. And Santos is good enough to play. So let's see some of these players come through. And I think Santos last year performance has been really good. So I'll let the other boys jump in.
And I'll double down on that, and say the form guide says we should beat both of these teams because both of these teams haven't won in the last 4. I'm pretty sure Bournemouth are on a crazy downturn.
Yeah.
Losing run, 3 or 4 games.
Yeah. So theoretically, if we're serious, we should be beating both those teams. And I would say what is actually even more disheartening about today was you guys, to be fair, I get your point about Saliba and Gabriel, because at the start of the season, I was saying the same thing in the games where we basically had Joshua Chempong and then Chalobah. And then it was Chalobah and Tosin. And it was Tosin and this person. This is the first time in like 4 games, I think, where we've had the same starting centre-back partnership. That makes a huge difference. And actually, to be fair, Chalobah scored the goal. And then if you go and watch the Arsenal goal, Chalobah gets drug out to do a 2-on-1 on Saka. And that creates space. So the frustrating thing is actually now we've got this weird scenario where Sanchez's form has improved exponentially.
Yeah.
And he's keeping us in games. But now this is where you need your centre-backs to also, like Kodjo was saying, centre-backs and your full-backs to then chip in, because that is what Arsenal do phenomenally well. It's not just Raya. It's Raya, then Timber, then Calafiori, then that's why there's such a good defensive unit and keeps such a tight-knit defense. So theoretically, we should beat them, yes.
Are you away or at home to Bournemouth?
Away.
I think
they're away.
Interested. Yeah, they're not on a great run. But
a wounded animal can be dangerous, man. That's all I'm saying. They can be dangerous.
4 wounds, though.
Yeah.
We got to mash them up, man. We have to, please.
We definitely have to.
Yeah, they're 4 games without a win. And I think this weekend would have hurt them as well, being 2-0 up. But the thing is, they still look good. But what I'm noticing with Bournemouth now is maybe other than the beginning of the season, there's like holes, there's ways to get at them, which maybe weren't there straight away. And then you're right, and then it gets into their head. It's in their mindset. And if it's only going to be a few more losses, then everyone that wanted Iriola to come to their club is going to start changing their mind, by the way. That's what I love about football fans. We're so fickle, bruv. Some people see football through how they feel. Chelsea can be proud of the performance. Chelsea, with the result, Trossard was a big miss today.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I mean, people look at things through all different lenses, and each their own to a certain degree. I think Chelsea fans should be proud of that today, because the game state changed when the red card happens. They should be proud of the 10 men left on that pitch that fought so hard, because if some of those players down tools and gave up, didn't track, didn't cover the space, Arsenal, as poor as they were at times, would have cut them to ribbons, and they had to work hard for that. Same as I felt for Arsenal when they got that draw. I know they conceded late against City last season away. To do that at that ground versus 11v10 second. I mean, that defensive display was brilliant. So I like that kind of. I'm a football purist. That's all part of the game for me, and I think it's important. Why did Miles Lewis-Skelly come on for Calafiori?
Big mistake. I was saying that's one of the mistakes he made in the second half, along with bringing Madueke left wing. I agree with him taking one defender because the 3 of them were on yellow cards. But Calafiori of the 3 was the most composed and the most experienced. I would have taken off Hincapie or Mosquera, one of them, because they seemed a bit shaky. Literally, that Skelly's substitution also killed us, in my opinion.
I agreed with the sub, to be fair. I thought it was. I saw Calafiori on the left, yellow card. You brought on Lewis-Skelly. It wasn't that bad. You understand? I could understand it, and I didn't raise an eyebrow when he done it, to be fair.
I agree with you, Dan. I also don't think Arteta thought that Esteval was coming off. I think if he knew Esteval was off, I don't think he'd have made. I don't know if he'd have made the substitution, if that made sense, because Esteval was just causing him problems. This year says, I find it ironic that people that rightfully back Arteta can't see that even though Chelsea aren't ready yet, they're clearly building something special. Yeah, I agree. I think they are building something really good. And some people just don't like to recognize other people's clubs. Look, I want to thank everyone who tuned in. It's ended up being a 2-hour and 40-minute show rather than an hour and a half. But that was because I will say that was the generous super chats that so many of you sent in. I weren't going to leave until we went through them, because that would be wrong. This is going to redirect you. We were actually going to redirect you to MHF, but they've already finished. This is going to send you across to Hassam and to Mo's channel. They're going to. This is going to MHF. We were going to Hassam's. They've already finished, so we're going to send you across to there now to go and support them on their channel. We're back tomorrow with Straight Facts in the morning. We have Killing the Game in the afternoon, and then Six-Sided in the evening as we look ahead at brand new Premier League games straight away on Tuesday. It doesn't stop. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see you all again soon. Peace.